Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. Today we'll be recording episode 13. Um, this one is probably going to be when things start to really get crazy, I'd imagine. I'd imagine this episode is probably going to start relatively slow. I think we're going to probably have that competition, or we're going to finish up the games contest from episode 1 of this chapter. We'll probably start with that, and then I'm gonna assume somebody's gonna die, right? It seems likely, and that's when things are gonna start to get crazy, and I'm really looking forward to it. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. I am so excited for this episode, man. The Watanagashi is gonna be crazy. I already know it. If it's anything less than absolutely absurd, it's gonna be a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. We'll see, but
本当に伝えたいのは違う言葉だった。本当に感じたいのは違う心だった。すれ違いが溝を生み、ためらいの気持ちが人を恐怖へと沈ませる。もう誰も止められない。冷たい感情がむき出しの心を深く残酷にえぐってゆく。綿流し。なぜあの時とつぶやく後悔の言葉。それはもはや虚しい響きだった。
Okay, we see that again. Hey, how are you doing, Rena? How are you doing? I've said multiple times I'm terrible at Japanese voice actors and actresses. I'm pretty sure that was Rena. I don't think I can re-listen to it without reloading the chapter. It certainly didn't sound like Mion, right? Who's, if anything, who I would have expected. We can look at it again if we want. Just exit to menu and listen to it again. I'm pretty sure that was Rena. Which is actually kind of unexpected. I would have expected that to be Mion or maybe Shion. Listen again.
本当に伝えたいのは違う言葉だった。本当に感じたいのは違う心だった。すれ違いが溝を生み、ためらいの気持ちが人を恐怖へと沈ませる。もう誰も止められない。冷たい感情がむき出しの心を深く残酷にえぐってゆく。綿流し。なぜあの時とつぶやく後悔の言葉。それはもはや虚しい響きだった。
Listening to it again, it still sounds like Rena to me. Mainly the way they say Watanagashi. Kind of reminds me of the way Rena says it in particular. It doesn't sound exactly like Rena does, which is what throwing me off a little. Or maybe it does, and I'm just terrible. Like even more terrible than I thought at recognizing Japanese voice artists, but it sounded like Rena, which the reason I really needed to check that is because that's interesting. I know I already said this, I would have expected Mion. I said Mion, so weird. I would have expected Mion or Shion given the contents of the chapter so far. Seems like we might get a surprise appearance from Berserk Rena, right? Well, not so surprise appearance, but you know. Alright, let's see though.
ケイチくんだ。おはようなんだよ。
Yeah, good morning. Rena was ecstatically waving her arms at me, already brimming with energy.
おはようって、もう夕方だぜ。
I couldn't tell if it was morning or evening.
こんにちは、だろ。
でも、今日ケイチくんにする最初の挨拶だから、やっぱりおはようがいいな。いいな。
You know, I'm really not so sure about that. I don't think you just say good morning the first time you see somebody. If it's like late in the day. I don't know. That doesn't really make sense to me. If anything, just good afternoon, good evening. I guess good evening almost sounds like like a farewell, I guess, but I don't know.
わかったわかった。じゃあおはようでいい。おはよう、レナ。
I grabbed Rena's head and rubbed it with my hand. She squirmed, reveling in the motion like a cat. Yeah, she's like all up in our face now, huh?
やっほー、ケイちゃん。
What's up?
昨日は申し訳なかったね。黙って帰っちゃってさ。
Yeah. Yeah, we noticed. We were pretty worried that you were angry with us.
ああ、それを言うなら俺の方が悪かった。ミオをずっと待たせっぱなしでごめんな。
昨日のお祭りの準備のことかな。どうだったケイチくん。しっかりとお仕事してた？
Yeah, I'd say so. That boy worked pretty hard. Slight muscle pain throughout my body and my sluggish movements were already obvious.
頑張ってたよ。へばってたけどね。
I grinned dryly at the three of us and break out into laughter.
サトコとリカちゃんは祭り会場で合流か？
リカちゃんはほら、大切なお勤めがあるから昨日からずっと。
Makes sense.
さとこちゃんもそのお供だそうだから、もう二人とも神社にいるよ。
Also makes sense. Right, I just remembered. Today was Rika-chan's big performance. She'd been practicing especially hard for this day. As her friend, I needed to make sure I went and cheered her on.
よっしゃ、早速行こうぜ。
Bet. Alright. Let's do it. Ooh. Skipping straight to night. As we got closer to the shrine, we started passing by more people and seeing a lot of parked cars. It began to get noisier, too. Thought I could hear something like a Bond dance song. It's probably exactly what you're hearing. Not being able to restrain my impatience, I dashed up the entire flight of stone stairs.
ケイチくん早いよ。待って
たくケイちゃん、お子様なんだからな。
I was about to say, that's like some middle school stuff, man. Sprinting up the stairs. Everyone did that in middle school and thought they were like the shit, bro. Because they could sprint up some stairs. I don't want to say everyone, but everyone who did it, that's why they did it. Obviously, that's not why Keiichi did it, but I swear, like it's like so many people thought if you could run up the stairs, you were like that. No, you really aren't. Anyways, whoa, shrine grounds. They're packed with people. It was a festival if I ever saw one.
わあ、今年も立派だね。すごいね、すごいね。
Boy lived in the city and never saw anything like this.
ひなみ沢中から出てきてるんだろうな。ありゃ、君吉分家のおじいさんまで来てるじゃない。あのじいさん、去年の渡流しからずっと体調崩してたんだけど、元気になったみたいだね。
Ah, dang, that's crazy, man. Yeah, there were a lot of villagers here that I didn't really know. They must have all been pouring in just for today.
あ、
Yeah, probably because of the rumors.
さとこちゃんだ。はーい。あら、皆さんでございますの。
What's up, Satoko?
こんにちはですわ。
What trap do you have waiting for us? I'm gonna dump a cart on our head or something. One of those booths? Fake.
ようサトコ、今日はすごい人手だよな。はぐれて迷子になるなよ。
誰が迷子になるんですの？
Bro trying a little too hard to be the older brother here, huh? Satoko, too, seems somehow energetic. Of course, I'm the same way.
あれ？リカちゃんは？まだ自由時間でしょ？リカは村長さんたちと挨拶してましたですわ。すぐに来るでございますわよ。
I see. Rika-chan is the shrine maiden for today's festival, after all. It's probably a pain for her to say hello to all the elders. Hey man, I believe it. She just wants to
実
play,
に
bro.
大変なのですよ。
Reading our mind.
こんにちはなのです。は、はう、リカちゃん。
You're gonna get kidnapped. I'm about to get an Amber Alert on my phone. Like,
お持ち帰り。
Rika-chan wore an immaculate shrine maiden outfit that looked fresh off the shelves. It was a perfect fit for her somehow mystical appearance.
どう？丈とか長すぎない？ バッチャからもしも袖がかかるようならって安全ピンを預かってきてるんだけど。
Okay, grandma coming in clutch?
大丈夫なのです。
I guess we didn't need the clutch, but you know, she was clutch either way.
実に快適なのですよ。
As she spoke, she began to do some twists and stretches.
いいね、いいよね、これかいいよね。はう。
Somebody like, I'd say restrain her, but I don't think that's possible when she's like this. I think when she's like this, bro, like, you could call, like, the state, like the national military. I think she's got it. She solos, bro. Like, I think in this mode, I think she solos Goku. Like, to be honest. Okay. Oh, God. I kind of want to see it, though. I kind of want to see it. There was approximately one person here getting a nosebleed from watching Rika-chan move.
ケイチ君は可愛いと思わないかなかな。
Not like you do.
思わないならレナノになっちゃうからお持ち帰り。
No.
すごく可愛いと思うぞ。かなり活かす。不敬のふりをして写真を撮りまくりたいくらいだ。2点から撮影して立体視できるようにすれば、立体の生リカちゃんが自宅でいつでももとい眺め放題。
Bro. Bro's had a little too much practice dealing with this.
はう。いいねいいねいいね。
Rena's eyes and mine glittered with stars as our noses bled and we drooled. Oh, my goodness. Bro.
リカ、あいつらに近寄ると大変ですわよ。
Honestly, I'm not worried. If I'm Rika here, I'm not worried about Keiichi at all. Like, I don't know. I think Rika seems like the type who's so composed that she could easily outwit Keiichi right now. Rena, she's different, bro.
地下室とかに閉じ込められるかもしれないので
Hey,
す。
don't say that because I'm worried you might be right. Like Rena's gonna be like, I'm gonna take you home and now I'm gonna kill you or something like. Something this cute doesn't deserve to live. Like, I don't know. That seems a bit out of character, but hey, right now, I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I'd be careful.
その割にはリカちゃん楽しそうだけど。
ミーがひどいことを言うのですよ。
We all laughed together again.
じゃもたもたしないで祭りを回るかね。
This isn't the festival? Y'all are literally in the middle of a bunch of, like, stalls. I'm gonna guess they understand this to mean a certain area, because it looks to me like they're pretty clearly in the festival.
リカちゃんの出番までそう時間がないでしょ。
そうだな。よっしゃ行こうぜみんな。
Oh, dang, we're not gonna get the chill fun section this time. Maybe. I mean, it could still happen, but sounds like we're going straight to the performance.
よー
Oh,
その先のお嬢ちゃんじゃねえの。
I think this is it?
食ってきな。豚肉たっぷりの焼きそばだぜよ。今年はイカリングまで入ってるボリューム派よ。
Dang. Hey, they went all out.
ヘイ親父、今年の焼きそばもなかなか力作じゃないの。イカまで入れるとは今年は奮発してるね。
I bet, man.
へえ、美味しいね美味しいね。
Can I get a bite?
ああ、イカってのは食ってもうまいが、それ以上に匂いが香ばしいんだよな。軟弱になりがちな歯ごたえも実に見事に補ってる。イカと豚肉のボリューム感は実に素晴らしい。うん、悪くない出来だ。
Not bad.
へえ、ケイちゃんって何気に料理番組の司会とかに向いてるね。
Yeah, all the buzzwords that man just used. I doubt he knows that much about cooking. That might be a little disrespectful. No, I mean, there's some good insight in there too.
ケイチ君が美味しそうに食べてるとなんだかいつもよりもずっと美味しそうに感じるもんね。
Maybe he's got to do that all the time then. His designated job is to make meals for others taste better by gassing it up.
俺はうまいものはうまいっていう主義なんだよ。だから俺がうまいっていうものはとりあえず試してみる価値があると思うぞ。
圭一、この焼きそばの評価を改めてどうぞなのですよ。
一言で言うとだ。うまい。
Absolutely scrumptious. Umai. Oh, flashbacks to the Demon Slayer movie. I'm sure plenty of you guys have watched it. Rengoku on the train. Umai. Just over and over.
胃袋がもう一つあるんなら迷わずもう一つ買ってるな。
But you don't. Having heard my 3-star rating, a whole line of people suddenly formed in front of the yakisoba stand. 3-star? Y'all go off a 3? I'm used to 5 or 10. And I'm just like 3 doesn't sound like it's all that. But I don't know. That's got to be a different scale. 3's got to be a good rating.
おお、すごいよ。ケイちゃんがあんまりにも美味しそうに言うもんだから集客効果バッチリだわ。
That's pretty impressive.
やるね。
There's nothing to brag about, but I still decided to stick out my chest and put on airs. Mm-hmm.
あら、そうなんですの？では、私も挑戦してみましたよ。
Watch it be garbage.
おじさん、たこ焼き一つくださいますこと？
Oh, no way, she's gonna try the same thing. Satoko bought a stick of takoyaki, all as a fried octopus, from the adjacent stand, and after blowing on it, put one of them into her mouth.
そうかな、さとこちゃん。美味しい評価が出るなら、レナも買うよ。
Yeah, that was a given. Chomp, chomp, chew, chew. Gulp.
さあ、料理評論家の北条さとこ審査員のご感想をどうぞ。
Alright. Can she make a bigger line? Or was that about mid? But she was all for it a moment ago. Satoko hesitated to give her thoughts. Was it not that good? Hey now, what's the matter? Everyone else takes one of their own and puts it into their mouths.
あれれ、レナのは外れだね。
Got what? Yeah.
僕のも外れです。
Oof.
タコさんが入ってないのです。
Yikes. This takoyaki vendor. Could this be some sort of summer festival only octopus-free takoyaki stand? An evil takoyaki stand that skimped on the octopus because they figured it would make them good money today.
あ、私のには入ってたわ。うん。タコが入ってる分には十分うまいよ。
That's what, 1 for
この
4?
タコなしたこ焼きをどう美味しそうに解説すればいいんですの？
Everyone wondered about that. A quizzical look seemed to be drawing equally dubious stares from the people in line.
こんなのはどうかな？たこ焼きなのにタコが入ってないからとってもヘルシー。
Yeah, it's healthy approach.
タコの嫌いな人でも食べられる美味しいたこ焼き。
That's okay. That is an approach. That's probably one of the better ones, but after hearing that, several surprised guests left the line. It had the exact opposite effect. Oh, brutal.
じゃあ次は私が挑戦するよ。
Okay. Satsuko's didn't go so well.
紅生姜の味などの素朴さをしっとりと味わわせてくれる自信作。タコが入ってない分だけ素材の味が程よく。
It wasn't half bad, but after hearing the "there's no octopus in it" clause, even more people left the line. Man, that vendor's about to lose their cool, bro.
リカちゃんは何かいいコメントはあるか？率直でいいぞ。
これで400円は高いのです。
Oh my god, that is the nail in the coffin, bro. The shrine maiden said as much. Yeah, you're done. That stand's gone. Just leave. You're not making any bread. That was too honest. Even more customers leave the line, dealing a lethal blow. There are other takoyaki stands around, after all.
いやー、なんか私らとんでもないことをしてるような。
I know that vendor's gotta be sick right now.
ほら、さとこ、あんたが始めたことなんだからビシッとここで逆転させなさいよ。
理でございますわ。タコの入っていないたこ焼きなんてどう褒めればいいんですの？
You idiot! Satoku's angry outburst was the finishing blow. Man, y'all just ran that man out of
お
business.
客さんみんないなくなっちゃった。
Whoever was at this stall, they got done dirty.
あれれ、おじさん睨んでる。なんでだろう、なんでだろう。は
Oh, that boy is not happy. There's no saving this crowd. Perhaps I, Keiichi Maibara-sama, will lend a generous hand.
圭一ならきっとなんとかできますですよ。
Man, I hope so.
タコなしたこ焼き屋さんを助けてあげてほしいのです。
Talking smack on it, basically.
笑顔でトゲのあることを言う
I
な
was about to say, that sounded like a, yeah, we'll save him even though I don't like this dude.
まあわかった。俺がプロの技を見せてやるからよく見てろよ。
A pro at work? Alright. I shoved the stick into an octopusless takoyaki and crammed it into my mouth. As before, there wasn't any octopus in it, but Mion's had some in it. That was the important point.
このたこ焼き屋の親父さんは本当の意味でたこ焼きが好きなんだ。いや、愛してると言っていい。
Okay. Everyone gasped in surprise, including the takoyaki vendor glaring at us.
あの親父さんは本当にたこ焼きが大好きなんだ。大好きだからこそいい加減なたこ焼きを作りたくないんだ。そうだね、親父さん。
The takoyaki vendor looked down, unsure. Those watching were listening intently, wanting to know why octopusless takoyaki deserved such a high rating.
でも圭一さん、そんなにたこ焼きが大好きならどうしてタコなしたこ焼きなんか作りますの？たこ焼きに対する裏切りではございませんの？
See, you might think that.
そうだな、ある意味裏切りだ。だがこれは親父さんにとっての、親父さんは今日だって本当のたこ焼きを作ってるよ。でもそれはこの中のほんの一つか二つでしかない。
まあ、
Okay.
そうだね。私の食べた一つにはタコは入ってたし、タコが入ってる分にはそんなに悪い味じゃなかったよ。
Okay.
そう、それが本物のたこ焼きだ。それ以外のたこ焼きは8個入ってなきゃたこ焼きじゃないという一般人の先入観への最大限の妥協なんだ。
Interesting.
圭一くんの言う意味がわからないよ。
It sounds like he was too broke to afford enough octopus for all of it, so he kind of dispersed it through, like, you know, a few, like one or two on each stick.
どうして本物は一つで他は偽物なのかな？
Because he's a broke boy.
その秘密はタコにあるんだ。
It's probably disrespectful, but just couldn't get enough octopus, I'd assume.
親父さん、このタコ本物の明石のタコだね。近年明石のタコの水揚げは激減してとても高騰しているんだ。たこ焼きなんかにとても使えないようなとても高い値段になってしまってるんだ。
Then the man, who had been looking down this whole time, mumbled.
ああ、そうよ。明石のタコはすごく高いんだよ。
でも親父さんは明石のタコにこだわったんだ。安物のいい加減なタコを使えばいくらでもごまかせるのに。
Okay. I mean, he's kind of doing it. I think he's gonna sell a lot of people on
明
this.
石
No
のじゃ
cap.
ないのに明石というのぼりを立てて販売してるインチキたこ焼き屋はいくらでもあるのに、親父さんはごまかさなかった。嘘をつかなかった。
You don't even know him like that.
タコ
but-
は明石。この一点だけを堅くなに譲らなかったんだ。親父さんはたこ焼きを愛してた。だから嘘をつけなかった。でもどうしても一点だけ強いられる妥協点があったんだ。
それは何ですの？
The amount of takoyaki per stick.
数さ、たこ焼きってのは一船8個がポピュラーだ。いくら本物の明石のタコだからって言って400円で1個だけってわけにはいかないだろ。
Yeah, no, that runs you out of business.
でも8個にしなくては買ってもらえない。だから親父さんは涙を飲んだ。本物のたこ焼きを一つ作るために残り7個に嘘をつくしかなかったんだ。
Oh, whoa. The octopus-free takoyaki vendor burst into tears. I gently clapped one of his shoulders.
みんなが何と言おうと俺はあんたの純粋さを忘れない。
How does he just know all this?
あんたこそは本物のたこ焼き屋なんだ。あんただけが
Like,
たこ焼き屋を名乗っていいんだ。
like, is he right? Clap, 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 clap. As I embraced the shoulders of this man, shedding his manly tears, those watching delivered a round of applause, moved by my speech.
さあみんな、この本物のたこ焼き屋のたこ焼きをどうか食べてやってくれ。こんな純粋な男を大事にしなくてどうして本当のたこ焼き道が守れようか。
The true path of the Takoyaki.
みんなが食わないなら俺が食うぞ。
That sentence just doomed you. That's a sentence you never should have said. I'm already knowing. They're gonna be like, oh, word, you got it? Bet. I'm out. No? Okay, I really thought that's what they were about to do. They were gonna have that speech not work at all and make him eat them all. Get that boy in
たこ焼きが美
advertising.
味しそうに感じたってより、ケイちゃんの味演説が面白かったからだろうね。
Yeah, probably.
ケイちゃんってガマの油売りとかやったらかなりウケるかもしれない。
Somebody get this man selling things. This dude needs to be a car salesman. This guy needs to be a car salesman or a realtor or something.
怪しい万能包丁とか売りつける仕事に向いてそうですわね。
Probably. Absolutely stunned at my successful pitch, the guy manning the stall next to this one called out to me. Oh god.
おいおい兄ちゃんたち、うちのあんず飴も頼むよ。
Give me some for free and I got you.
よし、要領はつかめただろう。今度はレナが行け。
よーし、頑張るよ。
They're just free advertising.
はう、あんず飴が冷えててとっても美味しいんだよ。水飴の上にね、ちょこんってあんずが乗ってるの。
So quietly and nicely.
はう、かわいいね。
I don't think that's doing it.
お持ち帰り。はう。
It looks like she lost herself in this midway through. But a girl giving us such natural praise was itself bringing in some customers. A line was quickly forming behind Rena. Good lord.
今度はお好み焼き屋だ。
Man, they're really just going around getting everybody some sales.
サトコ行け。
焼きそばに揚げ玉入りでカリカリなのがとっても美味しいでございますわね。大きなベーコンが丸ごと敷いてあって、かじるとほらピローンって出てきて、はっはっはっ。
おお、
That'll probably do it.
うまいうまい。それなら俺も食ってみたくなる。
Then a huge line formed in my words. What on earth is this? So basically, all these onlookers are just following us around to all the stands.
みんなのを聞いてから食べると、いつもよりずっと美味しく感じるからなのですよ。
I guess so, man. So that's it. Even Rika-chan was gorging herself on the food, getting sauce in the bib she'd put on to prevent her shrine maiden outfit from getting dirty.
よーし、おじさんも盛り上がってきたよ。よし、ケイちゃん、私はどれだ？
よっしゃ、ミオはさらにその隣の露店へ行け。ミオンの底力を見せてみろ。
Alright, Mion. Let's see what you got.
あれ？でもケイチくん、お隣のお店は。
Whoops. A goldfish scooping stand. A bit out of our element.
いや、部活の部長たるもの。相手がなんでやれ逃げられないね。
Okay, I got major respect for that.
やってみるよ。
I got respect for that.
ミオンさんのお手並み、拝見でございますわ。
Can't you somehow convince people to come here? The onlookers were also watching Mion with hopeful eyes.
いらっしゃい。はいよ。網とワン。
よし、やるぞ。金魚はみんな生きがいいね。実に美味しそう。この小さいのなんかそのままボリボリと生でいけちゃうよね。
I'm not. I don't know. Is that what this is for? Y'all scooping goldfish to eat them? I feel like that's probably not the pitch. Mutter, mutter. Oh god.
ミオンさんは何を言ってるんでございますの？
Oh, can't do it.
みーちゃん、食べてたの？去年レナからもらったのも食べちゃったの？
違う。私そんなこと言ってない。
I don't think she realized what she was getting herself into. Mion's face went red and she shook it vehemently in denial.
いやでも今ミオンお前自分で言ったぞ。
Oh
実
god.
に美味しそうだって。
Mion, come on.
ええ、確かに言いました。
Oh, Shion's here to drive it in.
お姉って雑食ですから、口に入れば何でも食べちゃうんです。
Oh no, not the omnivore. I guess
美
we're
味
kind
し
of...
いなら今度僕も試してみるのです。
No way.
ダメだよリカちゃん、お腹壊しちゃうよ。
Don't. Wait a second. Hey, what the hell? Shion, how long have you been here?
はーい。ケイちゃんにお姉にみんな、こん
Hey,
ばんは。
hey, what's up? Is
あんたどこから湧いてきたの？しよ
she just showed up, bro?
焼きそば屋さんの時からずっとです。
Oh no, she's been here for that long. She's just been chilling, huh? She's just watching this go down.
お姉たちは騒がしいからすぐに見つけられました。
I mean, fair. You have a valid point.
もうあんたは関係ないでしょ。早
Dang!
くどっかへ消えなさいよ。
Golly, Mion.
もうお姉もあまり私を邪険にしないでください。
Shion kinda deserves it, but that was pretty cruel. I'm not gonna lie.
ね、ケイちゃん。私が一緒でもいいですよね。
Oof. She asked, grabbing my arm and pushing her chest into it. Oh no, that's vile. You are... You're so vile. Bounce. No! Not the bounce, bro!
ケイチくん、鼻血出てるよ。
She's exploiting this man. That can't be legal, bro. That can't be legal.
ところてんを押したらニューって出てくるだろ。あれと同じだ。これは抗いようのない現象なんだよ。
That man's compared himself to the jelly.
へえ、そうなんですか？じゃあ力を入れたらもっと出てくるかな。
Oh god. No.
キュー。
Relax. Shion's... Her cleavage... It's right up against my chest. Drip. Oh no, not the bloody nose, bro.
シオン、あんたこら何やってんの？
She is trying to seduce Keiichi, bro.
不潔ですわ。見損ないましたよ。面白いのです。僕もやってみるのです。
Rika, come on, stay out of this. Chill. No! No, you... Hey. Hell, Keiichi, I'm just saying. You better not. No. Rika clasps onto my other arm, too. Rub. This is actually kind of disgusting. A plentiful, plump feeling on my left shoulder, and the sour sensation of a young, unripe fruit on my right. That's actually kind of gross, bro. I didn't need to read that. No! Keiichi! Dog, that's literally a child! Oh my... Boom, boom, bang. Shion, Rika-chan, and I, our faces now bruised, fell to the ground, limbs sprawled. You deserved it.
よくやったレナ。
You know, Rika-chan having a bruised face is probably not ideal right now, huh? That might be a major problem.
みんな不潔なんだよ。
I have no, bro. I have nothing to say.
レナに殴られたのです。
Rena did punch you.
痛いのですよ。
Rena better make that not look like you got punched.
リカは自業自得でしたよ。
Damn, Satoko? Golly. Sheesh. Now that Shion was here, the energy around us had increased by 120%. You enjoy getting rocked like that? Okay.
お姉の友達は実に愉快です。
Yeah, they knocked the lights out of me. That was so much fun.
退屈しないな。
You can't say they're a boring
ああ、
group,
そう。
though.
あんたさえいなくなればもっと愉快なんだけどね。
Laughed at her
もっ
face.
と一緒にいたいけど、あんまりケイちゃんを誘惑すると本当にお姉に噛みつかれちゃいそうです。
Yeah, no, I think she would.
だから私、一時退却しますね。
I have a bad feeling that you're gonna die. I mean, that's the feeling I've been getting, but it's not going away.
また来ます。じゃあね、お姉。
I hope not. She's an interesting one to have in the cast. I'm enjoying.
二度と来るな
Don't be back.
ー。塩負けしよ
Get the salt. What is she? Bro, what is she? An evil spirit? After teasing her older sister so much, Shion ran away into the crowd of people and disappeared.
なんだか珍しいミオンさんを見た気がしますわ。
You have indeed.
しーちゃんが一緒だとみーちゃんなんだかかいいね。
Rena smiled happily, earning her a whack on the head from Mion. Dang, everybody getting beat
う。ア
up
ホなこと
today.
言ってんじゃないよ。次行くよ、次。
We went about just like that, really noisy and lively, to the other stands. We were paying money towards the beginning, but midway through, the guys running the shops thought we were just too funny, and we ended up being able to fool around without paying much more. You know how much money you made them? You should not be paying a dime to these people. Not one dime, bro. Thump. The vigorous sound of a big taiko drum echoed through the air.
リカ、
That's
そ
the
ろそろ
signal.
時間みたいでございましたよ。
Alrighty. Looks like it's time for Rika to do the performance, and that's after that is when I'm gonna start getting worried.
いよいよなんだね。
Right. It's just about time for Rika-chan to appear in the offertory dance.
ちょっとドキドキしてるのです。
Don't be nervous, you got this.
信じなって。リカちゃんが流してきた汗は絶対に無駄になんかならないから。
Mion slapped hard on Rika-chan's back.
そうですわ。リカはきっとやり遂げますわ。頑張るのですよ。
You got it.
その息だよ。
Come on, you got it. We have faith. I balled my hand into a fist and raised it into the air.
応援してるぞリカちゃん。ファイトオンだぜ。
What a catchphrase. Go for it. Yay. I know it's just their best way to translate it, but it's just funny. Rika-chan gave the best smile I'd ever seen, and then pivoted on her heel and ran off.
じゃあ私たちも行こうよ。
Yeah, looks you guys gotta get to the place where it's happening.
そうだな。応援してやろうぜ。
ダメですのよ。演舞中は静かにしていないといけませんでござい
Yeah,
ますわ
don't
よ。
don't actually cheer her on. I got it, jeez. I rubbed a hand through her hair. She was worried about her good friend up to the end.
なら急いで行かないと
Yeah.
いい場所がなくなっちゃうよ。
Y'all better get front row. No, they're not gonna get front row.
行こ
Mion ran off, and everyone else followed a moment later. A large amount of people had already clustered into the tight space to watch the edifying dance.
こりゃすごい人出だな。
I turned around to look at everyone else. Nobody was there. Where did everyone go? Probably got lost among all these people. Oh no, they're gone? Great. That's just amazing. Oh no. That's concerning. Oh, okay. Finally, I spotted the back of Mion's head on the other side of the crowd. It definitely doesn't look like I can get over there. Well, we got separated. No big deal. We can just meet back up when Rika-chan's dance is over. I gave up on finding the others and wandered around, trying to look for a place where I'd be able to see better. It didn't take long for me to realize I'd have to settle for watching between the heads of people in front of me, though. Thump. Once again, an even louder taiko drum resounded. This one was to announce the beginning of the dance. I couldn't see very well, but it seemed like Rika-chan had come on stage with the elders, who were in priestly garb. I heard low exhalations of admiration, and the seniors rubbing their prayer beads in gratitude. Everyone's heads were in the way, and I couldn't see. It's really frustrating. We should have cut playtime short and come here to get good spots earlier. After Rika-chan intoned the prayer, she took the festival hoe and walked to the pile of quilts stacked on the altar. That's right. The point of the ceremony was to purify bedding and to hold a memorial service, wasn't it? Then, the solemn offertory dance began. She had practiced using a moki-patting mallet. The awkwardly shaped festival hoe Rika-chan held seemed really heavy. Back and forth, up and down. It was doubtlessly difficult to even lift in the air, but she sweated and waved, raised and dropped it, again and again. She couldn't just deal with it and do it grudgingly. As the shrine maiden, she needed to retain the dignity and solemnity present at this festival. There must be a ton of pressure on Rika-chan's shoulders right now. Yeah, no kidding. Damn! Why am I cheering her on from a place I can barely see her? I'm her friend, so I should be right up in the best spot rooting for her. Don't... like, push... You better... okay. Hey, why are you talking? You better be talking through your mind or something. Someone tugged lightly on the back of my shirt collar. It was Shion. She beckoned me outside of the crowded ring of people. She had a mischievous grin on her face, and I took it as her saying she knew a good place nobody else knew of.
Shion? Nanda?
Hey, y'all better shut up, bro.
Shh. 黙ってついてきてくださいね.
After she told me so, she ran in a big detour around the throng. It's great to have someone who knows the lay of the land here at times like this. Impressed though I was, I nearly lost sight of her right away. No more getting separated from me. I ran after her so that I wouldn't be left behind. As I wondered in anticipation what kind of secret spot Shion had in mind, we left the crowd of people and went around to the back of the shrine grounds.
おいおい、どこ行くんだよ。これじゃあ、どんどん離れちゃってるぞ。
Man.
シー。黙ってついてくればわかりますから。
Is it like a top-down view almost? Are they gonna be above? Shion gave me a wink that reminded me of Mion as she said that. No sign of people and not much moonlight. It was dark. We'd gotten pretty far away from the crowd of people in the shrine grounds. How are we supposed to see Rika-chan's dance from here?
そっか。どこか高いところがあるんだな。屋根の上とか、そういうところから見下ろそうって言うんだろう。
はい？なんで屋根に登んなくちゃいけないんです？
だってそうじゃなかったらどうやってリカちゃんの演舞を見るんだよ。
リカちゃまの演舞なんか見たかったんですか？
What is going on? Why did you drag us aside if it's not for that?
ケイちゃん、ひょっとしてストライクゾーンものすごく低くありません？
Hey, Shion, relax, bro. Relax. That. Oh wait, no. Oh, that's even. That is a gross state. No. Why would you even say that?
なんだか話が微妙に噛み合わないぞ。お前は俺をリカちゃんの演舞がよく見える場所に案内してくれるんじゃないのか？
Doesn't look like it.
はい。誰もそんな約束してませんよ。
Shion. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's kind of on Keiichi for just going without understanding why. If it becomes clear that he left the dance, right, to go with Shion to wherever, like, people are gonna judge him for that. People are not gonna be happy. Oh my goodness. What's going on? Why me? Why do I always misunderstand Shion? Is it my fault? Am I just reading the wrong things into it?
じゃあ、お前は俺をなんでこんなところに呼び出したんだよ。
With an expression that indicated she wasn't fooling around, Shion pressed her index finger to my lips and said slowly and quietly, "This place is a dark, dead, empty spot. You can't see it from the festival grounds, and now a male and female of the same age are all alone together." Oh no, bro. Horny. Eh? Could this be? Shion. She's not planning something crazy again, is she?
Shh. あれを見てください。ほら。
Oh, wait. Shion whispered, pointing into the dark underbrush. And there we saw 2 figures. One male and one female.
なんだありゃ。まさか。
密会の生現場に決まってるじゃないですか。ほらほら、よく見てください。あれ、誰だかわかります？
Why are we watching this? I peered intently into the dark at Shion's suggestion. Oh, it's Tomotage-san and Takano-san. That took me so many tries. Boy, I hope y'all mean an honest-to-God rendezvous. Okay, they did. Whew, jeez, bro. I was about to say, y'all best not just be watching, bro. Get out of there. The two of them were clearly breathing quietly and glancing around to make sure nobody knew they were there, as they crouched before the entrance to a wooden storehouse-like building. Okay, so it seems pretty safe to assume that Tomitake is, or Takano, I guess, is the one who wrote that note. That we saw in the extras last time. Or maybe he is one of the undercover police officers. Maybe that is what's going on here.
まさかシオン、これを見せたくて俺を呼んだのか？
ケイちゃん、リカちゃまの演舞は毎年見られるけど、こういうのは二度とお目にかかれませんよ。
I mean, I guess, but you're not wrong, but I thought the Sonozaki sisters each had their own personalities. At times like this, they seemed all too similar.
俺は帰るぞ。二度とこんなのに呼ぶなよな。
今動いたらバレちゃいますって。
At our noisy argument, Takano-san suddenly turned around. You hate to see it.
あらあら、どなたかしら？
We held our breaths and tried to wait it out, but it seemed like Takano-san was now acutely aware of our presence. Shion and I exchanged glances, then gave up and climbed out from behind the bush.
どうもこんばんは。お月様の綺麗ないい夜ですね。あらあら、シオンちゃんに前原くんじゃない？
Yeah, that's crazy.
こんばんは。月の綺麗な夜ね。
That's crazy how we ran into each other again, huh? Right in the middle of the festival
おやおや、
dance.
ケイチ君も隅に置けないね。
Yeah, something like that.
こんなところで二人っきりかい？
Bro, it's not like that. Relax.
だとしたら、僕たちとんでもないお邪魔をしちゃったかな。
No. No. Nothing of the sort. You're the ones who were meeting up secretly. Tomitake-san and Takano-san laughed to themselves, and it got on my nerves for some reason.
ってことは、富武さんたちは密会してたってわけじゃないみたいですね。
それはもちろん違うよ。
No, it's not like that.
そういうロマンスも嫌いじゃないけどね。
Okay, bro. I mean, I guess, yeah, I don't think you needed to add that last part, but you know.
残念だけど、あなたたちが覗き見したくなるような面白い場面じゃないのよ。期待に添えなくて申し訳ないわね。そうじゃなかったら何してるんですか？富武さん、今扉の南京錠をいじってませんでした？
Really getting into it, huh? Huh? After she said that, I looked at the two of them again. I definitely saw it. They were hunched in front of a warehouse door, fiddling with a pretty heavy-looking padlock.
バレちゃしょうがないな。僕たちが倉庫破りをしてたなんて内緒だよ。
That's one hell of an ask. But of course, we know what they're trying to get from there. They're trying to get the presumed ritual tools that maybe explains the sacrifices that are happening each year.
内緒って、それ、泥棒ってことですか？
I demanded unthinkingly, just because of how absently Tomitake-san was grinning.
いやーね。
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's the exact opposite.
泥棒ってのは物を盗む人たちのことでしょ。別に私たちは物を持ち出そうとしているわけじゃないのよ。
Just confirm they're there.
へえ。じゃあ何のために鍵開けなんかしてるんですか？ここ開かずの細具殿ですよね。
Yeah, we know.
古出家とほんの一握りの人間しか入ることが許されないっていう。
Forbidden storehouse. I took a few steps back at that and looked on the entire warehouse. It certainly looked like one, built removed from any signs of people, almost as if in secret. It was filthy, revealing how little it was ever opened. And it was built to be durable, giving it a strange, overpowering impression. Now that I looked at it more closely, it was certainly different than normal warehouses.
ここはね、細具殿といってね、細具をしまっている倉庫なの。
Yeah, aren't they gonna need to put one away here soon? The ritual hell?
いえ、細具を祀っている神殿と言ってもいいかもしれないわね。
Yeah. I guess those very well might go to a different warehouse. If not, y'all about to run into some trouble here soon.
リカちゃんが奉納演舞で使っている祭事用のクワも、
Okay.
今日までこの中にしまわれていたものよ。
So they're trying to see if the stuff that were used for sacrifices. What were their theories? Some kind of rope are
も
in
ち
there.
ろん、古出家の人間以外は不浄を持ち込むから立ち入り禁止の不可侵領域、聖域なの。
Shouldn't we absolutely not be coming to a place like this then? However, Takano was wearing a childlike expression, an innocent smile at best, and terribly cruel grin at worst.
私、ひなみ沢の昔語りや伝承を趣味で研究してるって言ったわよね。
Yeah?
私の知的興味のさまざまな答えがこの中に詰まってるの。
Bro, y'all can break in. Y'all should just leave Keiichi out of this. They're not going to, and that's going to be why he's going to get murdered again. But God, they should just leave him out of this.
この中に入れるチャンスを今日までずっと待ってたんだから。
A chance. Everybody's eyes were fixed on the dance at the shrine grounds today. This was the ultimate blind spot.
へえ。富武さんに鍵開けの技術があるなんて知りませんでした。
Yeah, he's nice with it, huh? That's crazy about him.
あ、よしてくれよ。僕だっていやいややってるんだよ。
Why are you doing it?
付き合わせてしまってごめんなさいね。でも、二郎さんのおかげよ。感謝してるわ。
It's all thanks to you. What do you mean?
やれやれ。でも高野さん、こういうのはこれっきりにしてくれよ。
You mean all thanks to you? That she got this information, or that she managed to, that she managed to get in? Like, has she been in already? Or is she just saying the fact that she found this place? Because if it's the fact that she found this place, that could kind of make the whole idea that he's, like, presumably an undercover cop. I guess, here's the thing. Was there anything suggesting that the tips we saw last time were connected to a cop? I actually don't know. I don't know that there was, so that actually doesn't really... I don't think that necessarily holds ground. It's still a very possible theory, but I don't know that it actually holds that much weight, you know?
こういうところに黙って入り込むのはやっぱり気が引けるよ。
I'm not sure, so we're just gonna move on for now. We'll think about stuff like this later.
やっぱり二郎さんはいい人ね。
For Clink. Tomitake-san undid the padlock and placed it to the side. Okay, clearly hadn't been in there yet.
開いたよ。
ありがとう。いよいよね。
Takano-san gulped. With an unusually excited air about her, she gave the heavy door a shove. The sharp smell of mold and dust flowed out from the gap in the doors. I'd claimed curses didn't exist, but in this situation, I could believe in them. We went into such a holy place with our shoes on. It was like we could be punished somehow. The boys are worried about the shoes of all things. I don't think it matters if you wear the shoes. Like, you're just not supposed to go in there. Like...
どう？あなたたちも共犯なんだし、
I don't know. I'm the one who's reporting this to the police, dog. Like,
せっかくだから一緒に見学しない？
Keiichi, don't. I know he's dumb enough to do it, but don't.
ひなみ沢の皮脂を埋める貴重な文化遺産の見物会よ。今日だけの限定会館。
別に俺たち共犯ってわけじゃ。
面白いと思いません？
Shion, stop. You're such a bad influence. Please, no.
ねえ、覗いてみましょうよ。
Shion said, predictably, linking her arm with mine.
でもこれは絶対いけないことだよ。神聖な倉庫なんだろ？西宮殿って言ったっけ？ますます勝手に入っちゃまずいよ。
私は一応園崎の人間ですから、この中にあるものはおおよそ想像がついてます。
I mean, yeah, but that still doesn't make it a good idea to go in.
でも、それはケイちゃんにも見てもらいたいものです。
So it's as bad as we feared. It's gonna be as bad as we feared, and that's why she wants us to see it.
俺に見てもらいたいもの？
I thought it was just a ploy, but Shion's eyes looked entirely serious. Of course, she was a sore who could lie with a straight face. Of course, I was an average boy, too. My curiosity was at least twice that of a normal person. Sleeping, forbidden treasures, never to leave this warehouse. Chances like this don't come around too often. If I had to choose, then I want to see. Till the locked door is open, though. I don't know about this.
面白くないって思ったら、ケイちゃんはすぐに出ればいいです。
Keiichi, for the sake of your own life, please take that out. You're not going to, but please take the out, man. You're not going to. Any combination of the villagers is going to find out. They're going to be very angry. You're going to see really creepy eyes. And they're probably going to murder you. All you have to do is say no. You can avoid that fate. And I know you're not going to.
きっと興味を惹かれると思いますけどね。
Oh, okay. That's foul to say that. You're right. But, like, it's foul to bring that up. Tomotage-san spoke after listening to our discussion, himself having sat down on the stairs to take a short rest.
僕がここで見張っててあげるから、一緒に見てきてごらん。僕はあまり趣味じゃないけど、圭一君みたいな若い男の子には結構面白いかもしれないよ。
Come on, y'all need to stop encouraging this man, he said, laughing mischievously. There was no ill will in his laughter.
富武さんはこの中に何があるのか知ってるんですか？
I think he knows what's in there.
まあね、高野さんにたっぷり聞かされてるからね。
相方の特殊な趣味に付き合わされる殿方も大変ですね。
Yeah, sure must be a pain. Tomotage-san didn't answer that, only responding with a pained smile. Takano-san had this kind of scary air about her, like she'd drop absolutely everything else for something she had an interest in and go straight for it, but Tomotage-san, on the other hand, seemed like the gold standard of what a normal person should be. Something like that. Lock-picking photographer who's encouraging Keiichi to go into a holy warehouse isn't my definition of the gold standard of what a normal person should be, but having him tell me so frankly to go check it out suddenly made the guilt feel lighter.
じゃあちょっとだけな。面白くなかったらすぐ出るぞ。
You've done it now. You got it. Shion gave me another Mion-like wink.
決まったみたいね。
Oh, you're so foolish. So foolish, bro.
じゃあ行きましょうか。次郎さん、留守番をお願いね。
Tomotage-san waved his hand to see us off. The inside was pitch black, but Takano-san turned on the battery-powered lantern she'd brought, revealing a pretty cramped front room.
真っ暗だね。
We're gonna see here soon. I'd imagine the ritual implements that are used in the drowning gonna be here, but we'll see.
みんな転ばないように気をつけるんだよ。
ご心配ありがとう。じゃあ門番をよろしくね。ここ閉めるわよ。
Takano-san smiled spitefully, as if leaving Toмотake-san out of something fun, and began to close the door.
やれやれ。じゃあみんなゆっくり楽しんでおいで。
Yeah. There was a low, heavy, and loud noise. We were completely cut off from the outside world, and covered in silent darkness. Takano-san's lantern was the only light we had.
大丈夫よ。
Yeah, man, I hope.
予備電池も入ってるアウトドア仕様なんだから。
Oh, that's not what I was worried about.
消えたりなんかしないわよ。
Looks like Takano noticed my uneasy expression. I couldn't help but blush a little and avert my gaze. Deeper inside, there was a heavy and old but sturdy door with solemn decorations on it. There was a last door sealing away what was within.
ただの倉庫なのに前室があるなんて変わってるでしょ。
That is a bit strange.
一度に1枚ずつ扉を出入りさせることによって西宮殿の中が外に見えないようにする工夫だと考えられるわね。
Makes sense to me. Takano-san explained this, awfully impressed by the construction. But still, it's really dark in here. Huh? That, over there, I spotted a circuit breaker hanging from a clump of wiring, clumsily attached to the wall.
あ、これ明かりのブレーカーか何かじゃないですか?
I flipped the biggest switch I can find, and with a click, the pitch-black room was illuminated by an old bare light bulb. Everyone scrunched up their faces at the sudden strobe-like brightness. I'm gonna be real. You probably shouldn't have flicked that.
ダメです。
Before she even finished, Shion slapped my hand and flipped the switch back. There was another loud click, and the room returned to darkness, with only the lantern for illumination.
いてててて。
ダメです、ケイちゃん。私たちここに忍び込んでるんですよ。
Yeah, saying the lights on wouldn't be a
明か
good
りなんか
look.
つけたらバレちゃうかもしれないじゃないですか。
I mean, you're not wrong at all. You make a great point. But it's not like they wouldn't see... I mean, I don't know, you might not be able to see the dim glow of a lantern as much. I'm scolded by Shion fairly harshly. I was gonna say, look at her face. That's a harsh scolding. Looked like she was worried about whether someone had seen them from the momentary light.
大丈夫よ。本当に一瞬だし。
I'm worried that somebody saw that just for that split second. Takano-san remained a relaxed adult. Seemed like she was confident she could talk her way out of it. Oh my goodness. Seemed like she was confident she could talk her way out of it if someone did see us.
さあ入りましょう。
And I messed it up anyways.
よいしょっと。
The even heavier door opened, and this time, it wasn't just the dust that came out with the air. It was also a nasty smell. One smell was like opening a dust-filled cupboard in the back of a kitchen that hadn't been opened in years. The other smell, the nasty one, was hard to explain. It was like the raw odor of a fish market. Oh, I'm worried we're about to find a corpse. From how the sound echoed, this room felt larger than the first. Takano-san held up her lantern and revealed the contents of the expansive room. At the back wall of the storehouse, right in front of us, was a Buddha-like holy object, standing there, looking down at us. I was taken aback by its unseen force, lit up by the slender beam of the lantern.
あれがひなみ沢の守り神、お社様よ。
Hey, yo! Hello? What is this room? Dog, this is... Ritual implements? Ritual implements. Dog, those are torture devices. Like, what is that a casket? Look at this. Dog. It even has the neck restraint. Neck restraint, arms, wrists, legs. Like, And the statue of Yashiro-sama right there.
社にあるのよりずっと立派ですね。
Yeah. Oyashiro-sama. So this is the spirit protecting Hinamizawa. The one guarding the holy land of Hinamizawa from the impurities of the outside world, and the one delivering punishment after punishment upon those who attempted to sully the land with the dam construction.
想像してたよりたくさんの細具が収められているようね。でも残念。どれもあまり手入れがされていないわ。
None of them have been maintained.
状態が悪いのが悔やまれるわね。
Interesting, actually. Even in the dim light, I could see a lot of strange objects lining the walls, ceiling, and shelves. Takano-san, speaking as if in a trance, was infatuated by the various implements filling the dark room. They weren't very festival-like or traditional, but instead, this was more like the workshop of a blacksmith or carpenter. Hey, actually, now that I look at it, you're not wrong. I think I overreacted. This device right here, I'm gonna need an actual explanation for this, though. I mean, that's just like a grindstone, just like a hammer. Okay, it's not as bad as I initially let on, to be honest. It's definitely not as bad as I initially let on. I just, my eyes kind of flocked to this, and then whatever this is, and then like you saw like, okay, I mean, I guess that's like a trident though. What it looks like. I mean, I don't know why they'd have like a trident here, right? But you know, it could be something a blacksmith made if that's what they're saying. Tools of a blacksmith or a carpenter. There were a lot of large wooden and metal tools packed in here. Putting it bluntly, it was all pretty boring stuff. I'd imagine there'd be more artistic things in here from the Heian period, but these are a far cry from being cultural artifacts. My expression betrayed my dashed hopes, and they caught on right away.
あら、面白くないかしら？
Doesn't seem like it.
俺は文系でも美術系でもないんで、あんまりこういうのを見てもよく価値がわからないです。
Oh, I bet she's happy to explain
圭
them.
一君はよくわかってないみたいね。無理もないけれど。
Takano-san reached into a paper bag that she'd been holding this whole time, took out a worn scrapbook, and began to flip through it.
じゃあ、圭一君のために昔話でも聞かせてあげようかしら。
She just whipped out the storybook? She keeps that thing on her at all times?
この地方では一般的な昔話よ。図書館に行けば、教育委員会推薦の本にも載ってるくらいにね。
Okay. Telling stories? Such a dark, creepy place? She must have a horror story in mind. Shion's face belied nothing but calm. She had the same personality as Mion. She'd have found fault with me being scared. I'll endure it for now and pretend to be calm.
いい？じゃあ、読むわよ。
After confirming that I was going to be quiet and listen, she began to speak softly, like a kindergarten teacher reading a picture book.
昔々、ある山奥の村にね、沼があったの。
She really is reading this like she's reading to a kindergarten. You can tell just by her voice, man.
その
One
沼は
sentence.
ね、底なしの深い深い沼でね、地の底の鬼の国につながっていたんですって。
The rumor said that it was deeper than the ocean, and that anyone it swallowed would sink into the underworld, a bottomless swamp. Its name was Onigafuchi. Wait. I thought back to the story I heard yesterday about the sacrifices sinking in the bottomless swamp. That be the swamp she's talking about? Yep, the very same.
ってことは、その村はひなみ沢ですね。
察しがいいわね。そうよ。当時は鬼ヶ淵村って呼ばれてたけどね。
鬼ヶ淵村。物騒な響きのある名前だな。
Yeah.
イメージもあったんでしょうね。
Yeah.
明治の頃に今の名前に改称されたって聞きました。
You know, I couldn't figure out why. The name of the swamp connected to hell was called Onigafuchi, which meant the demon's abyss. You know, I really can't think of why they would change that name, you know? That's kind of crazy. And the true name of this village, Hinamizawa, was Onigafuchi Village.
村人たちは鬼の国、つまりは地獄のことね。 鬼の国とつながるという沼を崇めながら過ごしてきたの。でもね、ある日のこと。
Demons began to appear, one after the other, from deep in the swamp. Bro, is that Berserker from Fate? No, I'm playing. The villagers feared that hell was overflowing. The demons mercilessly attacked the villagers. They could only watch in fear. They could do no more than hide themselves and tremble.
で、誰かが鬼を退治するわけですか？
No, they sacrificed somebody.
残念だけど、このお話には桃太郎みたいな正義の味方は登場しないわ。
Man, wouldn't that be nice?
じゃあ、村を挙げて戦うわけですか？
まさか、村人たちに鬼と互角に戦える力などあるわけもない。
Yeah, I was gonna say, if they could fight some demons, I gotta put some respect on their name.
じゃあ、村を捨てて逃げるしかないですよね。
Which they obviously didn't do.
それも無理ね。村人たちにとっても、村は大切な郷里だったから。どんな恐ろしい鬼が攻めてきたからといって、簡単に逃げ出せるはずもなかったのよ。
じゃあ、どうするんですか？滅びるしかないじゃないですか。
They sacrificed. Unable to fight and unable to run. All they could do was wait for the village to be destroyed. Then, when everyone had lost hope, their god, Oyashiro-sama, descended unto them. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
なるほど。つまり、天からやってきたお社様が鬼たちをやっつけるわけですか。
What, was throwing hands?
ケイちゃんは男の子ですね。すぐに腕力で解決する方に走るんですから。
True. I mean, valid. Shion sighed, a little annoyed, embarrassed. I held my tongue.
お社様はね、やっつけるとか、そういう暴力的な神様じゃなかったの。
That's a pretty funny image. Them worshipping a god who literally was scrapping with some demons. That's a really funny god. That's such a funny image to me. With how pure most gods' images are, like, would never resort to violence, right? Like, you know, peace is the way. I'm just trying to imagine a god who's like, oh, you want to mess with us, huh? Yeah, we're scrapping. Bah, just trading blows. Like, that's a really funny image to me. I'm sorry.
もっと優しい、慈愛のある神様だったの。
Yeah, I know. The strength of Oyashiro-sama descended from the heavens and couldn't be compared to that of the demons. They didn't even fight. They simply prostrated themselves before his radiant authority. Oyashiro-sama urged them to go back to hell from whence they came, but the demons wept and challenged him, saying they could never return.
鬼たちの世界にも厳しい戒律があってね。
And they broke him.
彼らは地獄を追放された鬼たちだったんです。
Shouldn't have gotten banished from hell. What can we say? Demons, who didn't have a place to go, neither in hell nor in the human world. Of course, they were at fault for attacking the village. They deeply reflected on it and were sorry.
村人たちも話を聞くうちに少しずつ気の毒になっていったわ。それでね、村のみんなで話し合った結果、鬼たちと一緒に住むことを決めたの。
退治するとか追っ払うっていう昔話は多いけど、共存ってのは確かに珍しいですね。
Yeah, that's quite the spin on something like that, you know?
ですよね。鬼ってのは元来諸悪の象徴のはず。
And they were just like, all right, bet.
それとの共存を決めたというお話なんだから、本当に変わってます。
And a story like that pretty easily explains the negative stigma around the village. When the demons first heard the villagers' invitation, they doubted their ears, but soon burst into tears of joy. The villagers had given them a place to live. It was said that in payment for this good deed, the demons shared their many kinds of power and secrets with the villagers.
お社様はその微笑ましい交流をとても喜んでね、鬼たちが 村人と分け隔てなく暮らせるよう人そして自らも地上にとどまり末永く両者の交流を見守ることにしたんだそうよ。
That's interesting. A land in which man, demon, and god live together. I thought the word demon was a noun meaning evil that needs to be exterminated. A god may have mediated for them, but you don't often hear happy endings like that where both sides live in harmony. I see. I guess it is kind of interesting.
普通のおとぎ話ならここで終わりなんだけどね。
Oh, what, you got like the extended version? She bought the collector's edition of the fairy tale.
このお話は江戸時代にだいぶ加筆されたみたいで、まだまだ続く随分と長い話になってるわ。
Then where does it go from there? After that, the humans and demons intermixed, and eventually there was no difference between them.
鬼の存在は結局村に溶け込んで消えてしまったということですか？
No, it's not that the demons disappeared, if you ask me. It's that, according to the story, they are basically the demons, like half demons.
いいえ、消えたりなんかしないです。半分はしっかりと残ってたそうですよ。
The knowledge the villagers had received from the demons basically made them into something inhuman, what people call transcendent. They were well aware the power they had was heresy. As those below worshipped them, they lived out their lives in secrecy.
このお話がね、その後に派生するたくさんの昔話、フィクションの原点になってるの。
So hold on. They received all this knowledge from demons, which made them like transcendent. And that the power that they now held was heresy, and so they lived secret lives while being worshipped. So what is that implying? Like there's a sect of people here that have this transcendent knowledge, like beyond humanity, and are just living in secrecy. Whether that secrecy be like a secret face that they show in public, or literally we have never seen them, is kind of a good question. But I mean, the way they say it makes it sound like we've just never seen them, so there might be some secret group of people. The story is the root of many derivative tales and pieces of fiction.
だからこのお話がある意味基礎中の基礎、ベーシックね。
原点ってどういう意味ですか？
村人たちは鬼の血を引いているという部分ですね。
Oh yeah, no, I believe it. I'm buying it. I believe it. Yeah, I don't actually know if I believe it, but I could definitely believe it. If that's the route this story wants to go, I could see them having demon blood. If this were confirmed as true, I would not be surprised.
つまりこの辺りに伝わるさまざまな伝承や昔話は全部その村の人たちは鬼の血を引いているというのが前提になっているんです。
There was a hint of amusement in Shion's face as she said that. It was like she wanted to say that she too had demon blood in her. Is there any proof though? Maybe it's somehow rooted in historical fact beyond just fairy tales.
あら、じゃあ前原くんは沼から鬼が現れて人間と交わったっていうのは本当にあった出来事だって信じてるのかしら？
Sounds like they want him to say no again.
信じないわけじゃないんですけど。
When she said demon, she meant the ones from hell, but in ancient Japan, the word wasn't necessarily used to denote only that kind, right? A more well-known use involves the drifting foreigner theory. As the story goes, Westerners who were shipwrecked in nearby seas had such markedly different customs that they were called demons. Japanese people were relatively similar in appearance to the other Asians, but everything about those from the West was different. Their physiques, their faces, and their skin color. In Japan, terms like red demon and blue demon evoke images especially of Westerners. Lacking in skin pigments, Westerners would sunburn easily and turn red. Being fair-skinned, I think blood vessels appearing on their skin would look blue too. That's an interesting theory, actually. It was just white people. Okay, well, that's not necessarily true. Westerners does not inherently mean white people, but it does probably mean white people, like, from the West, right? Kind of like They just don't mean the same thing. A handful of accidental aliens would drift into Japan and come under persecution, being called demons. They would flee into the mountains to survive, turn into bandit groups, and attack villages for food and the like.
なんて説はどうでしょう。ちょっと子供じみてますかね。
Takano gave me a weird smile when, having come up with such an impromptu hypothesis, I unconsciously followed it up with self-deprecation. Still, she didn't smile as if to make fun of me.
別におかしくないわよ。実際に漂流異人説を唱える人もいるもの。でも実際はどうなのかは誰にもわからない。
All we know is that demons presumably means something not of Hinamizawa, whether that literally means just actual people that happen to be foreigners or literal demons.
山賊化した異人の集団だったのか、本当に地の底から来た鬼たちだったのか。
We're once again going back to the scientific explanation versus the fantasy explanation. The like mythological, explanation. Which one would it be?
じゃあ、高野さんはどっちを信じてるんですか？
真相は別にして、夢のある方を信じたいわね。
Yeah, that checks out.
その方が面白いでしょ？
Yeah, I mean, that's not exactly an amazing way to convince me, but, her answer made her sound a wee bit like a romanticist. Here I'd thought she'd reject unrealistic stories like that.
さて、いよいよここからよ。面白くなるのは。
The fun begins. Takano-san brought an end to her storytelling and waits for a moment as if to tantalize us.
Huh?
Suddenly, Shion looked around as if something had caught her eye. Her head bobbed to and fro, like she was making sure nothing had changed.
どうしたシオン？
What are they looking at?
ごめんなさい。気にしないでください。
She see something? Shion pretended as though nothing had happened. Takano-san also made sure nothing had happened, and cleared her throat and broached the next subject.
村人たちに半分鬼の血が流れてるのは話したわね。
Right?
実はその血なんだけど、鬼は鬼でも人食い鬼の血なんだって言われてるの。
人食い鬼ですか？
Sweet. It just keeps getting better and better.
急に物騒な響きになりましたね。
Yeah.
その血は今でも村人たちには脈々と流れていてね。
I feel like this is about to get not good.
時折その血が眠りを覚ますと言われてるわ。
You better relax. This better not be like a setup. I thought the fairy tale had a happy ending, with the humans and demons living in peace, but it began to suddenly change into a brutal, bloody story.
人食い鬼だから何十年かに一度どうしても人肉が食べたくて仕方がなくなる周期があるんですって。
Every decade or so.
だからって村人同士で共食いするわけにはいかない。だから彼らはその度に人里へ降り鬼隠しをしたと伝えられてるわ。
Okay.
何ですか？鬼隠しって。
Someone gets demoned away.
平たく言えば鬼たちによる誘拐行為よ。
Yeah. I'm sure the fact that she's saying broadly speaking means she's about to give us a more specific explanation, but
鬼ヶ淵村の村人たちが人里に押し寄せ、哀れな生贄を無理やり力ずくでさらったんですって。
Takano-san's explanation was plain and simple. When I imagined what it must have been like, it was terrifying. They lose their human reason. The villagers turn into real demons en masse. They attack the villages they loathe and the dirty world of the masses below. And then they kill and eat their sacrifices.
それじゃあ鬼と何ら変わりないじゃないですか。お社様はどうしたんです？その村にとどまって人々を見守ってるんじゃなかったでしたっけ？
もちろん、
Yeah.
お社様も了承してたそうよ。
Or probably encouraged it.
だから鬼隠しは無差別ではなく、神様が決めた生贄以外には誰もさらわなかったらしいし、
Of course. How convenient.
ほとんどの場合は一人か二人だったって記されてるわね。
Yeah, nah, we've seen that one, huh? A village inhabited by those both human and inhuman. It was like the heartwarming episode's colors had inverted, like negative film, revealing the painful and ugly truth.
そうして生贄をさらってきた夜にはね、哀れな犠牲者をおいしくいただくため、綿流しの儀式が開かれたというわ。
So that's the actual origin of Watanagashi? If we're to believe all this. Oh. Okay. That's nice. This was originally a festival to feast on kidnapped sacrifices. Watanagashi. Tonight's festival was Watanagashi. I just couldn't reconcile the fun festival with the horrible tale Takano-san was telling me.
綿流しは確か冬の間に使った布団なんかに感謝するお祭りじゃなかったでしたっけ？
ケイちゃん、綿って言いません？臓物のこと。
So they just found a more convenient way to actually explain it. They're like, oh shoot, we probably shouldn't rename the festival. That might be a little sus. Guys, it totally meant futons. This whole time. We swear. Shion, who had been silent up until now, spoke up.
綿？そういえば言うな。魚の綿っていう。え
？Like a jigsaw puzzle, the fun times I had today and Takano-san's grotesque tale clicked together in my mind.
綿流し。
I didn't think saying that could ever feel so nauseating.
そう、前原くんの想像している通りよ。今でこそ綿流しは毎年6月に行われるちょっと早い夏祭りに過ぎないけど、昔は違った。
Used to might be a strong word.
哀れな食材をさらってきた夜にだけ開かれた凄惨な人食いの宴のことだったの。
嘘だ！
I had no real reason to say that, but I couldn't help it.
前原くんはさっき、綿流しは布団を清める儀式だと言ったわね。
Yeah.
綿が詰まった布団って何を意味してると思うかしら？
布団は布団だろう。寝具、寝るための道具だよ。他に何の意味があるんだよ。
Yeah, sure, they're beds. Except wasn't part of the ritual cutting it open? I was rattling on, desperately attempting to deny the horrible festival that Takano-san was describing. Deep down, however, I found myself understanding all too well what she meant. Futon stuffed with cotton. If the cotton represented entrails in both pronunciation and meaning, then entrail-filled futons would have to be humans.
では、リカちゃんがやった奉納演舞を思い出してちょうだい。リカちゃんがあそこで何をしていたか、分かってくる？
わからねえよ。
You know exactly what was happening.
第一、リカちゃんの演舞は最後までちゃんと見てないし。
She was totally stabbing the hell out of that futon with a hoe, wasn't she?
Shh.
Yeah, you best relax.
ケイちゃん、エキサイトしすぎです。
She grabbed one of my ears, reminding me that this wasn't somewhere I should raise my voice. Even so, I still can't suppress the agitation I feel.
リカちゃんが持っていたもううすうすは気づいてると思うけど、 あれは田畑を耕す桑ではなくて、人間の腹をこじ開けるための解剖道具なのよ。
I didn't see the dance all the way through, so I don't know what kind of performance Rika-chan was putting on after I'd left. When I told this to Takano-san, she kindly explained Rika-chan's dance to me. To summarize what she said, after what I'd seen, Rika-chan would pierce the futons with that hoe, cut them open, and pull out the cotton inside. She'd cut the cotton out one bit at a time, and set it afloat. That's the kind of ritual it was.
平たく言えば、魚の綿を取り出して三角コーナーに捨てるのを仰々しく儀式仕立てにしたってことね。それで儀式はおしまい。その後はそれぞれの役割を持った村人たちがおのおのに肉を解体しておいしくいただいたって考えられてるわね。
Man, how did we get to here? And this is chapter 2, bro. This is chapter 2. I don't even want to know what's in store for me later in this game. Yes, I do. I totally want to know. I'm just not prepared for it. At Takano-san's strangely happy giggle, I felt, for some reason, violent displeasure. Rika-chan, every day during our lunch break, she'd take a rice-pounding mallet into the schoolyard. She'd work so hard, sweating bullets, to practice for the offertory dance she had done today. All that effort, all that work. Takano-san disgraced it. Even though she worked so hard to practice for today.
高野さんももう少し言葉を選んでほしいです。ケイちゃん、ナイーブなんですから、あまりからかわないでください。
Almost before I opened my mouth to express how angry I was, Shion stopped me. Shion must have been fully aware of how that story made me feel.
ごめんなさい。男の子だからショッキングな話は結構好きかと思って。
Takano-san spoke without a hint of malice as she smiled gracefully.
この辺まで話を聞けば、ケイちゃんにもこの細具殿の中にどういうものがあるのか理解できるようになってきませんか？
So what, I was right the first time. I was worried. Shion pointed out one of the walls, vaguely illuminated by the lantern's light. There was... Mere moments ago, they hadn't held my interest. They were just boring-looking tools lined up on the shelves. All those uninteresting tools that I didn't understand how to use, they all suddenly took on a new meaning. I couldn't help but let out a groan. First, they looked like carpentry tools, like chisels or planes. However, when I thought back, I'd seen pictures of these sorts of tools before. Yeah, they came up in a Japanese history textbook. Yes. On the page introducing the Kaitai Shinsho, or the new text on anatomy.
こういうのはね、医学の本場、ドイツの文献の方がリアルに掲載されてるわよ。
These aren't carpentry tools. These strangely shaped tools, they're for dissection. Everyone knows that in the Edo period, they would dissect the corpses of those who had been put to death in order to gain knowledge about Western medical techniques. Illustrations of the dissection tools they used at the time came up in textbook supplements. The things hung up on this wall all looked exactly the same as those.
もっと怖い言い方をするなら、調理道具といったところかしらね。
Come on, you're right, but you didn't need to say it. Takano-san, holding the lantern, the only light source in the room, led us along the wall. She had the only light, so I had to walk after her whether I liked it or not.
ほら。
Takano-san illuminated a coiled chain which left a bigger impression than the other things we saw. The chain in itself was nothing unusual, but further along it were metal fetters that were like hinges, clearly meant for binding people.
ケイちゃん、あれ。
You good, Shion? Shion tapped me on the shoulder and pointed to a restraining table that was clearly shaped like a person. My spine froze. My blood felt like it was turning into sherbet as it crawled up my back. Sherbet? I have never seen that word. On each of the joints, there were things like chains and iron balls attached. It was like the table was searching for its next sacrifice, ready to spread their arms wide and close them in.
多分まな板じゃないかしら。
Yeah.
犠牲者を拘束してこの台の上でお料理をしたんだと思うわね。
Good God. The words chopping block sent a jolt through my body. When I looked more closely, there were many dark slices carved into it, as though from a knife or a saw. Oh no! Don't actually confirm it. They were the most clear-cut signs of usage you could ask for. It proved these tools weren't just for show. They were used for their original purpose. If someone was strapped tightly onto this table, they probably wouldn't be able to even move a muscle. Their guts would be defenseless. You take one of those eerie cooking knives lined up over there, stab them with it. Then you'd slice open their bellies and dissect them?
話には聞いてたけど、すごい。
Yeah. Before coming in here, Shion had mentioned she had a good guess of what was inside, but it seems to have exceeded her imagination.
まだまだあるわよ。
Oh, great.
どう？浪人業館より面白いでしょ？
Sweet, man. Takano-san had this happy expression like she was visiting a toy store for the first time. I don't get it. This Mio Takano person has nerves of steel. Are these bizarre, grotesque objects that fascinating to her? Yeah. Yeah. I, for one, was not enjoying myself. I'll be frank. This is all too weird for me. Still, there's something even more horrifying than all this. That would be none other than Takano-san herself. Takano-san holding the lantern and giving off such a thin beam of light. She suddenly turned it off. And what would I do when, the next moment, everything went totally dark? That's why I was scared. Takano-san had the only light. And anyway, I was scared. At some point, Shion had started holding onto my shirt sleeve. It was a little annoying to walk like that, but I didn't shake her off. That minor sensation allowed me to feel the presence of an ally, here and now. You scared too, bro. That boy. Ugh, goodness. Before we'd even walked halfway through the storehouse, the air I felt in my skin changed completely. These cruel tools lined up, all crammed together in this place. Some were horrible ones made to take away sacrifices' freedom, and some were tools made to efficiently disassemble and prepare the bodies for consumption. Those were just the things I understood. There were plenty of other strange-looking objects that I couldn't even guess the purpose of. Now that I was here, I didn't have the slightest desire to hear the details about what sort of terrifying reasons they were meant to be used for. At the very least, they were all completely different from the sort of clean, simple killing function of a katana. Tools to kill people were, obviously, constructed in such a way that they could kill people. Oh wow, crazy. If that was the goal, then the person who used them on would, obviously, end up dead. People do die when they're killed. The kinds of tool here, however, were different. The tools that were here were for cutting people, for crushing them, for boiling them and cooking them, and for grinding them. They were tools of torture. Oh, okay, so I was right the first time. Great. They weren't made to kill people. People dying was just an incidental result. Actually, they might not even kill them. If the sacrifices could die during such a horrifying ritual process, that would be nice, but they don't even die in the end. They remain in a state of hellish pain. Perhaps they were only being allowed to live. Only now, in this moment, did I fully realize just how terrifying and fearsome the difference was.
人ってね、上手にやると結構殺さずに済むものらしいの。
Yeah, no, we realized, unfortunately. Takano-san, as if reading my mind, displayed a shocking smile.
魔女狩りで有名な家系。火あぶりなんかはすぐに死んじゃうのよ。全身の皮膚が広範囲にわたって重度の火傷を負うと、組織の分解産物で中毒症状を引き起こし、重度なショックを併発しちゃうから。
You know, at least that means the people who are going to die, the burns, die a little sooner, I guess? I still wouldn't want to be caught in a full blaze either way, but...
まあ確かにそれに至るまでがギロチンなんかに比べればはるかに長いところに残虐性があるんだけど。
Yeah, but there was no concern for how fast it killed you, and she's She compared it to fire, which is already a terrible way to go, right? Just to make it clear. She described such horrors in a strangely medical way. Shion immediately answered the question I had.
高野さん、看護師さんですから。
Yeah, I knew that. There's a saying that nothing can scare a doctor. I guess it's true.
ところがね、ローマの時代の処刑方法にね、バーベキューと同じにね、金網で挟みつけて、炭火でじっくりと焼いたんですって。
That's horrifying. I guess these are the same people like these are the same people that were crucifying people though, so I guess it's not really that surprising. You boys did Jesus dirty. Oh man, I'm not trying to get caught. I'm not trying to get crucified, bro. I know that would hurt, bro. That's a terrible way to go. Like, I'm not even like talking like anything religious here. I'm just saying getting crucified is like one of the last ways I'd want to go. Just realized I didn't have that light on. Hopefully the video quality wasn't too bad because of it. But, yeah, no. You know, that's just one of the fun ways Romans had to execute you and make you suffer. And so we're comparing to one of those. That's great. I think the memories of when I went to a day camp with my family. I'm rushing back now of all times, so vividly.
これだとね、どういうわけかなかなか死なないらしいのよ。ものの本によると、一昼夜かけて片側が炭化するくらいこんがり焼いても、まだ意識があって、流暢に話をしたなんて記述も出てくるから。
You know, I'm good on it. That's insane. You'd grill someone the whole day. They'd still be conscious. It's said that ancient Rome, famous for their executions, thought of plenty of ways to execute someone while having the victim stay alive as long as possible. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about, right? I mean, these are the same dudes that were crucifying people, right? Like, I've heard of some other horrible ones. I don't remember all of them, or most of them. I remember crucifying, for sure. Kind of hard to forget that one, but, you know, like, I mean, they had some messed up ones. I don't remember them. This is a bad time to lose my random fact knowledge. But I remember some really vile ones. I want to say that one of them had something to do with, like, floating along a river. I don't know. I could be tripping now. We're just gonna move on.
その中にね、お腹を開いて、腸をウインナーみたいに引っ張り出して、ウィンチで引っ張り上げて晒し物にする刑があったんですって。
Sweet. Jim was behind me, clinging to me. Not just because she was scared. She was protecting her stomach.
臓物を引っ張り出すなんて。聞いただけでもすぐに死んじゃいそうでしょ。
You would think.
でもね、丁寧に優しくやるとね、意識がはっきりとした状態のまま腹渡を引きずり出すことって可能らしいのよ。
Oh, you didn't need to say that. Takano, those are words that did not need to come out of your mouth. Thank you. Please never say anything like that again. Thanks in advance. It's gonna be 20 more seconds before she says something like that. That is a horrifying thought. I felt a sick feeling in my stomach. No, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, Keiichi. It was like my organs were coiling up, just from Takano-san's stare.
ウィンチで引っ張り出すっていうのはなんだか大行な方法だけど、もっと野蛮に裂いた腹から臓物をちぎっては投げちぎっては投げという、そんな恐ろしい刑もあったんじゃないかって十分に考えられない？
Not even 20 seconds. I'd rather not imagine it.
でも処刑者には意識があるの。
Just in case it needed to be worse, guys.
それは痛い以上に恐ろしい体験なんでしょうね。
I feel like it's both. I feel like it's probably both. She spoke with pleasure, as if she had come here on a sightseeing trip. That's exactly what she's here for. I heard Shion gulp multiple times near my ears.
ひなみ沢の、いえ、鬼ヶ淵村の綿流しもそんな感じだったのかしらね。ほら、耳を澄ませば聞こえてくるような気がしない？
Man, hear what? I wanted nothing more than to not hear anything at all. So why? Why only at times like these do I begin to hear things I shouldn't be able to? Bro, what are you hearing right now? Are there people here? Takano-san, having realized she'd scared Shion and I enough at this point, smiled soothingly. Then she turned on her heel, raised the lantern, and began to walk again. If Takano-san left us here, we'd get even further away from the light. Shion and I, no matter how scared we were forced to follow Takano-san along on our field trip through the ritual storehouse. Y'all, I told you guys you didn't want to go in here.
これで軽く一周できたかしら？
Awesome, let's go.
ね？
Leave.
面白いところでしょ？
She says, raising the lantern high in the center of the storehouse. The dim lighting didn't change, but for some reason, I felt like I was able to see all of those horrible tools at once.
ケイちゃん、
Hi.
上。
Uh-oh. Shion stammered while grabbing the nape of my neck. I couldn't tell because it was so dark, but there were a lot more tools hanging from the ceiling as well. Oh my god. They all looked like they were made of iron bars. I figured it out. Cages. For cages, they were very small. Cramped cages just for one, like a casket. If you got locked up in there, no, you wouldn't get locked up inside it. It was another tool meant for restraining people, where the iron bars would squeeze you tightly. So many big and large, things of all shapes, were hanging down. Takano-san's mention of execution by grilling crosses my mind. We weren't just surrounded on all sides by these terrifying instruments. Things crowding the ceiling were even hanging over our heads.
ヨーロッパの拷問道具にこういった鳥かごがたくさん登場するわね。
Yeah. You know, at least my original impression was correct. I guess we have that going for us. I mean, the cages, the torture block, all the restraints. Right? You see, for a second I was like, oh, maybe there is an innocuous explanation. No, wrong. What was I thinking? This is Higurashi When They Cry. I should have known better.
日本にもあったなんて驚きだわ。
There was the theory about Westerners. Just saying. Maybe some Romans came over, bro. I don't know. Maybe some Romans rolled up and they were the demons.
ケイちゃん、あれ、中に入ってない？人？ミイラ？
Bro, what?
どれ？
Shion desperately pointed to one of the many human-sized bird cages hanging from the ceiling. I couldn't tell which one she meant. Being that dark, there wasn't any way you could tell if something was there in the first place. Oh, yeah.
私には何も見え
Believe
な
me,
いけど。
Takano, she'll shine the
見間違
light.
いじゃないの？
Shion didn't seem convinced. Without a means to confirm for ourselves, we couldn't do much but wonder.
これで前原くんにもなんとなく信じられるようになったんじゃないかしら。
I don't know what else he's supposed to believe at this point.
ひなみ沢に伝えられる恐ろしい儀式の数々が。
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's any way that the hopelessly naive explanation of, maybe these aren't murder tools. Maybe they are innocuous for blacksmithing. Yeah, not likely. It's got nothing to do with believing them. Now that I've been shown the real things like this, there's no possible way to deny it. Even the nations of Europe, with all their beautiful landscapes and legends, were like a maelstrom during the terrible witch hunts in the Dark Ages. It's well known that the era gave birth to countless gruesome forms of torture and execution. Japan was the same way. Didn't it have its own air of hellscape like torturous feasts because of religious suppression and things of that nature? Hinamizawa itself had such a period. It had that much history behind it. Even in Europe, land of the witch hunts, it was all far in the past, no more than a series of historical events, and in this age, nothing that abnormal would ever happen. So when was Europe the land of witch hunts? Like, am I missing something? Wasn't that an American thing? I mean, I guess there's nothing to say it wasn't also a European thing, but I don't know. I think as an American, I think witch hunts, the first thing I think of is Salem, right? Not anything that happened in Europe. I don't know. I might just not know enough. I'll have to see. Were there witch hunts in Europe? I mean, it's pretty possible, let's be real. But even in Europe, land of the witch hunts, it was all far in the past, no more than a series of historical events. And in this age, nothing that abnormal would ever happen. Psych. That must apply to Hinamizawa as well.
中世の暗黒時代とかがそうだったように、ひなみ沢にも暗黒時代があった。そういうものなんだと解釈します。本当にひなみ沢でこういう恐ろしいことがあったのだとしても、それは大昔の出来事なんです。
That's what they want you to think.
今暮らしているひなみ沢の人々とは何の関係もないことです。
Wouldn't that be convenient? That doesn't seem likely, though.
前原くんは本当にひなみ沢が好きなのね。
It didn't sound like she was making fun of me. Takano-san gave me a light smile.
でも高野さんはその風習が実は現代にも残っているんじゃないかと思って研究をしてるんです。
Yeah, makes sense.
そうでしたよね。
Shion suggested something that made my heart leap into my throat. Are you telling me all these horrible things are still going on even today? I mean, on the exact day of the Entrail Spilling Festival. For what, 4 years in a row? Probably about to go on 5? One person has just disappeared, and another was brutally murdered each time. Seems pretty likely that horrible things are still going on even today.
これ本当に内緒なんだからね。
Alright.
しおんちゃんは理解のある人だから話したけど、他の村人には聞かれたくないの。下手をしたら罰当たり者ってことで袋叩きにされかねないんだから。
And so maybe that is what happened in Chapter 1. Shion flashed a devilish smile, as if reveling in the immorality of it. Maybe she said something she shouldn't have, and she got punished for it. And, you know, Tomitake just happened to be there and got skunked.
前原くんも内緒にしてね。
Yeah.
知られたら私、お社様のたたりに会うか、生贄にされちゃうかするかもしれない。
Yeah, I think we kind of all become a target if we have that knowledge.
たたりなら、今年はどんな死に方をさせられちゃうのかしら。生贄なら、鬼ヶ淵の沼に生きたまま沈められちゃうのかしら。
Well, why does that seem to excite you?
そういえば今夜よね。お社様のたたりがある夜は。
Takano-san said, bringing her face right up close to ours, as if to say that if she had the choice, she'd rather suffer the curse. That was what she seemed to be implying. Takano-san took a fairly worn notebook out of her paper bag, then began to flip through its pages. There were all sorts of references and newspaper clippings attached to them, and it had all manner of things written inside. The letters were very small and bunched together, so I couldn't tell at a glance what it was about.
本当は国会図書館で当時の新聞を探したいんだけどね。ほら、ここ。
A photocopy of a page from some book was slid into the notebook, and it, too, was written in a small, tight lettering. Like the other pages, I couldn't tell what it was about just by glancing at it.
これは実際にあったお話よ。
Oh boy.
明治の終わり頃にね。
You know what I just realized? The very first killing was a dismemberment. The dam murder? They dismembered the guy. In And wasn't part of him not even recovered? Or was it one of the people related to it? That's the thing I'm confused on. Something wasn't recovered. If it was one of that guy's limbs, I mean, like... Wait, okay. I think it was one person had a limb with them. They were lost. Like, no one ever found them. The ringleader behind the dam murder. Right? Pretty sure this is how it went. The ringleader behind the dam murder got everybody to take a piece of the body. They took theirs. One person confessed. Everybody else was found besides the ringleader. Right? And them and their body part were gone. And that's what Keiichi was telling us to reinvestigate. Okay. Or Keiichi was saying need to reinvestigate it the first time. And, you know, we suspiciously had a body part go missing. Yeah. Okay. We'll see. But that's not a good look right now. I don't know if that's connected. It's just a passing thought I had. The fact that we can confirm that the very first murder in these past set of murders was a dismemberment. I mean, the others weren't, but... Okay. Actually, the fact that the others weren't might kind of throw that story off. Okay, let's just listen to Takano's story.
鬼ヶ淵村で身元不明の惨殺死体が発見されたんですって。
An old newspaper clipping attached to the page spoke of something that was no mere rumor or fairy tale.
当時の警察の資料がほとんど残ってないそうだから、口伝と記憶によるものだけなんだけどね。ほら、これ不鮮明だけど、明治の頃の新聞の切り抜きみたい。
Never before has there been a corpse treated with such cruelty and inhumanity. Could it be the work of a demon? Being a copy of a copy, it was very hard to make out, but it was more than enough to make me feel strangely tense. Near the end of the Meiji era, in old Onigafuchi village, a mangled corpse was discovered. The identity of the corpse was unknown. It wasn't even in a state where it could be identified in the first place. It was missing a head, and each limb was separated from the body. Oh my goodness. Skin had been peeled off the entire body, and there were markings that implied terrible torture in every place imaginable. Not only that, but the belly had been cut open by a sharp knife, with the entrails completely dragged out. The police immediately began an investigation, but since they couldn't even determine the identity of the victim, much less the criminal, finding answers was extremely difficult.
どういう状況かわかるかしら?
Oh no. I couldn't imagine such a strange sight, even if I tried. This was the first time I was ever thankful for my lack of imagination.
被害者は生きながらにして全身の皮を剥がれ、あらゆる拷問を受けていじめ殺されたんですって。
That's sick. That is sickening.
そして死後にもさらに遺体を分解、解剖と残虐の限りを尽くしたのではないかって筆者は見ている。私はどの工程も生きているうちにやったんじゃないかって思ってるんだけどね。前原くんはどう思うかしら?
I think we stop this conversation. You spoke in a way intended to make me imagine even more vicious things. As my brain was already far over capacity, however, there was no way I could imagine anything more brutal. Then when I broke my gaze from Takano-san's, those strangely shaped weird tools were all around us. I wonder if you could faithfully reproduce the mutilated corpse discovered at the end of the Meiji era, the tools found in this place. I want to deny it. I don't want to admit that something so terrible could have happened at all. Even so, they were so strange, so terrifying, these tools, and as if nothing had been, and as if they had seen through my attempt to escape from them, they did nothing but ridicule me silently.
その薄気味悪い事件が何だって言うんですか?
Obviously somebody got tortured, murdered, like tortured, brutalized, and murdered. What?
筆者はね、鬼ヶ淵村の恐ろしい習慣は明治以降の近代。
Awesome.
ひょっとすると昭和初期くらいまでは残ってたんじゃないかって結んでるわ。
That's awesome. This corpse, at a glance, appeared to have been brutally killed after a period of torture. In actuality, however, it was the pitiful, sacrificial remains of the man-eater's terrifying feast. The corpse was just leftovers. It was so fantastic, so strange, that it didn't feel real. Was this an extension of the legends too? It happened in the Meiji era though, which is just too recent to be called a legend. Also, there's a newspaper clipping right here suggesting it.
でも本当にあったとしたって昔のことですよね。
I couldn't tell you how long ago the Meiji era was, so...
明治なんて言ったらそれこそ100年くらい前の。
Never mind, I can tell you exactly how long ago the Meiji era was.
たったよ。たった100年前のことよ。それにね、昭和に入ってからだってあるんだから。終戦直後に騒ぎになった缶詰疑惑。あ、ごめんなさい。
The what? The what incident? Oh my goodness. The post-war canned flesh incident. Oh, I apologize. Man, get out of here. Right, yeah, you're so sorry you accidentally led us into another branch, huh? That's crazy how you did that. Bro, oh my goodness. I've never heard it. Go ahead, just tell me. Takano-san immediately stopped talking as if worried about Shion. Shion briefly looked somewhat angry, but that expression soon disappeared.
え？今高野さんなんて言いました？缶詰疑惑って。
You're gonna make Shion explain? Uh-oh. Just then there was a huge creaking noise. Everyone whipped around to look. It was Toмотake-san who'd opened the door slightly. That's the y'all better get the hell out?
驚かせちゃったかな?
Yeah, a little bit.
あら、二郎さんも見たくて我慢できなくなったかしら?
This is a splendid treasure trove of torture devices. Awesome.
僕は遠慮させてもらうよ。生来ね、こういうのは苦手なんだ。
Takano-san held her stomach and had to muffle her laughter, as if she wanted to make a comment about his masculinity.
それより、演舞とセレモニーが終わって、みんな沢の方に降りていったよ。
Who knows if somebody's gonna bring some stuff up here soon, y'all best leave.
あと何分もしないうちにお祭りは終わっちゃう。
あら、いけない。前原くんがあまりにも聞き上手だから、またお話三昧になっちゃったわ。
I'd really rather you not mention me in a place like this.
二郎さんは表で待っててくれるかしら？私はちょっと写真を撮るわね。本当はいくつか道具を持って帰りたいんだけど、それはさすがに無理そうだからね。
I hope these pictures mean we can just leave. You got the photography, we get the exit. Takano-san took a camera out of her paper bag and began to snap photographs. She looked like she was having fun, like she was on a scavenger hunt.
ん？ケイチ君も出るかい？
いや。
もう十分に見ましたので、シオン、もういいだろ。出ようぜ。綺麗な空気が吸いたいよ。
同感です。出ましょう。
Yeah, let's. I did feel a bit of hesitation at leaving Takano-san by herself in this darkness. I wouldn't. I'm out. When I thought about it, though, I realized that whatever kind of evil spirits and ghosts lurked in the darkness, none of them could hold a candle to how scary she was. Even if a phantasm were to appear, she'd be overjoyed and flash her camera at it. Someone get her on phasmophobia, bro. She'd be different. It seemed like Shion shared my somewhat rude mental images. We exchanged glances and smiled painfully. We left Takano-san there, bathed in our strobe of camera flashes, and decided to go leave the ritual storehouse. Bro, did they... Everyone at the festival seemed to have gone to the stream, so their voices were very distant. The voices of the bugs, on the other hand, were clear, lending an empty feeling of isolation to the place. We actually get out? No one saw us? I hope. We've seen the kind of BS Ren has pulled before. I wouldn't be surprised if she somehow was like, "Where's Keiichi?" Tracked him down to here and was like, "Oh god, they're in the storehouse," and now it gets murdery, you know? That wouldn't even surprise me.
どうだい？面白かったかい？
Hell no. That place was terrible. Tomitake-san gave us a somewhat mischievous grin. We should have been able to tell by looking at how pale our faces were.
富武さんと一緒に留守番をしてればよかったです。
Tomitake-san laughed so delightfully that it wiped away our dark feelings.
シオンちゃんはどうだったかな？
Not that much better.
怖かったかい？
一応心の準備があった分怖くはなかったですけど。
Man, you were the one clinging onto our arm, hiding behind us, making sure, like, your stomach was safe.
でもやっぱり実物は迫力あります。
Yeah, now you were scared. Shion spoke like she wasn't scared at all. She really had been quite afraid. Seeing as how I was in a way worse a state than her, I didn't have much room to talk. As Tomitake-san grinned candidly, my mind, exhausted and locked up by nervousness, began to calm itself.
高野さんはおとなしく見物してたかな？
Something like that.
ほら、彼女子供っぽいところがあるだろう？
Oh no, she was behaving like she was a child, bro.
宝の山を前にさぞや興奮してたんじゃないかと思ってね。
Oh, she was. Both Shion and I laughed and left that as our answer.
見るだけならいいんだけどね。こっそりと何かを持ち出したり、いじくりすぎて細具を壊したりしないかが心配なんだよ。
Let's hope that doesn't happen. Right, that's quite possible. She is alone in there right now. She might pilfer something small and easily concealed, hiding it in her pocket.
やりかねないです。
Shion said what I was thinking.
本当に何も壊したりしなかったかな。
Well, we were in there nothing.
なんだかドタンバタンと飛び跳ねるような音がよく聞こえたからね。
What?
僕は不安で不安で。
You could hear what now?
ごめんなさい。フィルムがなくなっちゃったわ。二郎さん、フィルムが余ってたら分けてくれないかしら。
Oh my goodness, if you ran fresh out of film, you're done. Takano-san suddenly appeared while we were talking about her, taking everyone by surprise. Tomitake-san smoothly grinned and responded as if nothing had happened. He's pretty mature.
もう予備のフィルムは切れちゃったよ。
Yeah, then let's get the hell out.
申し訳ないね。
もういついかなる時でもフィルムを残しておかないと決定的スクープ写真なんか撮れないわよ。
You got him there.
仕方ないわね。
Tomitake-san scratched his head apologetically. Without film, we're done here. Takano-san seemed to have given up because of that too. We checked carefully to make sure we hadn't left anything inside, closed the door and turned to the heavy padlock we'd left beside it.
高野さん、何も持ち出してないだろうね。
失礼ね。そこまで子供じゃないつもりよ。
Good. Kerclack. Tomitake set the padlock back to the way it was before. From a cursory glance, it didn't look like thieves had snuck in at all.
よし、僕たちも沢に行こう。綿を流すところくらいやらないとお祭りに来た意味がないよ。
Yeah, man, I can't wait to rip a futon apart. Tomitake-san spoke brightly, urging us all on, setting cotton afloat down the stream. I shake my head a few times, driving away my dismal thoughts as to the double meaning. Takano-san, looking a little let down, kept turning back to glance at the ritual storehouse.
もうこれっきりにしてくれよ。十分に知的好奇心は満たせただろう。
Now she's just more curious.
まさか。むしろ新しい興味を惹かれるような発見ばかりよ。
Yeah.
今日のでこれまでの仮説が一気に現実になったわ。これで今後の調べ方がだいぶ変わってくるんだから。
Don't. Wow. She's truly indomitable. Curiosity really is something else. Still interested in all this, through and through. We descended the stone stairs and all the people crowding the stream came into view. Near the bottom of the stairs, we could clearly see people receiving cotton that had been cut out for them, then wishing upon the cotton and setting it afloat down the stream. The festival was already over.
まずったな。
Whoops.
綿流しの一番いいところを撮影し損ねたよ。
あら、まだ遅くないわよ。 私が行って流すんだか
Yeah,
ら。
you got a few villagers right here.
私を取ってはくださらないのかしら？
I mean, it means he doesn't get like the massive line of a bunch of them, but yeah. Takano-san, with an impish expression, brought her head to Toмотake-san's shoulder. Despite his age, he looked embarrassed. I felt an honest respect for Toмотake-san, man to man, for dating such a handful of a woman. Oh my god. I felt an honest respect for him. Oh man, that's kind of foul.
じゃあね、前原くん。しおんちゃんも。
Yeah, adios.
僕たちは今からでも沢に行ってみるよ。君たちも一緒に来るかい？
まさか
She was like, nah, I'm out.
お二人の邪魔なんてできません。どうぞごゆっくり。
Shion waved her hand at them with an expression just as impish as Takano-san's. Toмотake-san, on his part, seemed to want us to come, but whatever. Shion gave a big stretch and sat down on the stone steps.
疲れちゃいました。
Yeah, same.
同感だな。俺も疲れた。
ケイちゃんは綿流し初めてなんですよね。
Yeah.
私なんか気にしないで行ってきてください。
I really feel like if we leave her, we're just never gonna see her again, right? Like,
私は疲れちゃったんで、人混みはちょっとパスしておきます。
yeah, if we were to go now, we'd barely slip into the end of the cotton drifting ceremony.
お姉たちがケイちゃんのことを探してるかもしれませんから、行ってきてください。
あ、そうだ。
Yeah.
ミオンたちと別れたままそれっきりだったら探してると悪い。
Then, Shion suddenly got a playful look on her face and put her index finger to her lips as if telling me to keep this a secret. Well,
お姉ってすっごく嫉妬深いんです。
I don't think that's the problem here, but you're not wrong.
私がケイちゃんを独占してたことがバレると、いろいろうるさいんで、今夜のことは秘密にしておいてくださいね。
Yeah. Keep tonight a secret. Don't say things that are so embarrassing. I was gonna say, that doesn't really sound like what actually happened, but you know, it drives the point home.
そういう意味だけじゃないですよ。
Uh-huh.
今夜、私たちがしたことを思えば、
Oh yeah.
秘密にするのは当然です。
Okay. Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct.
今夜起こるかもしれないお社様のたたり。私たち4人が最有力候補なんですからね。
Yeah, you would be. We've already seen two of them. Two of them get hit by it. Loosening threads of tension became taut again. Shion, however, burst out laughing.
じゃあ、私はお姉に出くわす前に退散します。今日は本当に疲れてるから、お姉とやり合えるだけの体力はないですし。
Okay.
シオンってミオンと仲がいいのか悪いのかよくわからないな。
That's actually kind of fair. Sometimes it seems like they get along, sometimes it seems like they take things way too far. Well,
仲
Shion so far, but...
いいですよ。
Though she said that, her vague expression explained that there were a lot of oddities in the relationship between twins.
俺は一人っ子だからよくわかんないな。せいぜい仲良くしろよ。
はい。余計なおせっかいと受けたまわります。それじゃあ私はこの辺で。
Alright, hopefully we'll see you again.
ケイちゃんも急いで行った方がいいですよ。
And I mean in this chapter, and alive, not as a corpse.
本当に綿流しが終わっちゃいます。
Shion stood up and brushed the dust off her backside. After watching her do so, I returned my eyes to the final ceremony of the Watanagashi festival below me. Yeah, bro was watching her dust off her backside, huh? Okay.
でも本当にあの音は何だったんでしょうね。不愉快というか、気味が悪いというか。
Man, I don't know.
何の音だって？
音ですよ。ドタンバタンって。
The what?
うるさかったじゃないですか。
What are you talking about? I was giving her a blank expression, so Shion stared hard at me. I stared hard at her too.
ごめんシオン。はしょらないで最初から説明してくれないか。何がうるさかったって？
What?
ケイちゃん、気にならなかったんですか？
When all said and done, It's like we were speaking two different languages.
シオン、冗談抜きで初めから説明してくれないか。音がどうしたって？
ケイちゃんこそ冗談抜きで。
We're dead serious.
本当に気にならなかったんですか？
We didn't hear it. Neither of us was giving any ground, and both of us were staring at the other in disbelief. We were answering questions with more questions, with no sign of an actual conversation in sight. Baffled, I held in the urge to shout at her and asked politely one more time.
もう一度聞くからな。質問は俺からだ。
Shion nodded silently.
じゃあ聞くぞ。音がしたって何のことだ？
ドタンバタンって、なんだかどこか遠くの板の間で子供が跳ねてるような。本当に気にならなかったんですか？
We didn't hear it. You know who did, though? Why can I not remember his name? Oh my god, the photographer. What is his name? What? How did I forget? Toмотake. Toмотake heard it. What the hell was that?
気にならないも何も。そんな音いつ聞こえた？俺は何も聞いてないぞ。
ちょっとケイちゃん、それ本気で言ってるんですか？
They about to get snatched up, huh? Shion, as if she didn't understand my plain and simple answer, pressed me further, her expression serious. I have no clue what she's talking about. But if it has Shion acting so like this, whatever it was, it gave me the creeps. It sent a chill down my spine.
さっき最後伝の中で高野さんと一緒に見て回ってる最中、高野さんが昔話を始めた頃からかな。少しずつだんだんとちょくちょくと。
She heard a banging sound, like a child jumping on distant floorboards.
嘘だろ？最後の最後で怖がらせるのはなしだぜ、おい。
I didn't hear anything at all. In fact, it was so utterly silent in there that my own heartbeat was almost deafening.
ケイちゃんこそ怖がらせないでください。
The fact that they're both being dead serious. Yikes.
なんだか高野さんの怖い話に合わせて音を立ててるようで、私ずっと薄気味悪かったんですから。
Is this the part where we point out that she seemed to have seen a body that neither of the other two in there could see? While also supposedly hearing a noise that neither of them heard? Maybe it's something about her demon blood. Well, that doesn't really make sense, because Takano, not Tadano. The chill rose from my spine to the back of my head. My blood turned cold as if it crawled up my body. When it reached my head, my mind froze over.
ケイちゃんも高野さんも全然意にも介さない風だったので、私も聞こえないふりをずっとしてましたけど。
We just didn't hear it, like...
聞こえましたよね。
No.
何度かはすごく大きな音でしたから。
Shion's eyes were begging me to tell her I heard it. I had no doubt, however, that my own eyes suggested something entirely different. You've got to be kidding look. In that storehouse, we were surrounded by brutal ritual tools that looked like they were from another planet, listening to terrifying old stories. The whole time, Shion had been hearing a sound that we couldn't hear by herself. Should that make Shion, who heard it, tremble? Or should it make me, who didn't hear it, tremble? I didn't know the answer to that at the time. For now, Shion seemed to have made that decision before I did.
なんだよ、突然。
引っかかりましたね、ケイちゃん。
Yeah, shut up.
嘘ですよ。
No.
嘘。
Nope, you weren't. No, you were not. Toмотake heard it too. Good try, though.
はあ？
Shion laughed, saying how easily scared I was, and clapped me on the back. She's trying to make him not as scared. Her smile seemingly somehow artificial. It actually made me feel worse. Then, after leaving me with 2 or 3 generic, diplomatic goodbye phrases, she left, almost like she was running away. All I could do was look after her, my mouth agape. At the end of the day, I didn't have a clue what was going on. Shion laughed it off and said she had been lying, but she couldn't possibly have been lying. Of course not. Now that I think back, Toмотake-san said the same thing, didn't he? Yes, sir, he did.
なんだかドタンバタンと飛び跳ねるような音がよく聞こえたからね。僕は不安で。
Tomatake-san, the most neutral party present at the time, had said he'd heard something. Then, that noise. It was real? The banging sounds. It sounds as though a child was jumping up and down on some kind of floorboards, far away. But Yashiro-sama's curse, which happens every year, might happen again tonight. The most plausible victim candidates were Takano-san, Tomatake-san, Shion, and me. The bustling of the people sounded further away than I would have liked, and the sounds of the insects sounded too close for comfort. I'm near so much human warmth, yet I can't ever go back there again. That was the ominous idea that sprouted in my mind. Then, all of a sudden, I was pounced on from behind, causing my heart to lurch.
ケイチ、見つけたなのです。
Bro, y'all scared the hell out of him. I'm already knowing. It was Rika-chan. When I turned around, Mion and Rena were there too.
やっと見つけた。
Hey, what's
あ
up?
とはさとこか。
今年はみんなはぐれちゃったね。
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
来年からはちゃんと合流場所を決めておきたいな。は
Yep, good plan.
そうだね。
Except no, not happening. I'm leaving.
やっぱりお祭りはみんなと一緒でないとね。
I listened to Mion's happy declaration with a little bit of guilt.
ケイチは僕の演舞はちゃんと応援してくれましたですか？
You see, this feels like drawing him directly into a lie. This feels like forcing him to be like, yeah, of course I did. Except somebody here is going to be like, no, you're lying.
ああ、ちゃんと見てたぜ。最後までちゃんと頑張ったな。ミスもなかったし。
Oh, you can't say anything like that, bro, because you don't know. I'm worried that if I left click, we're gonna get that creepy ass music.
うん、そうだよリカちゃん。あんなのはミスのうちに入らないよ。
Oh, yeah, she totally messed up. I tensed up as I realized I'd made a mistake of my own. Mion slapped a hand onto my shoulder a little roughly. A gross sweat broke out over my whole body.
ケイちゃんはやった？綿をもらって沢に流した？
No. You haven't yet, right? Is what I could feel her saying. Without the courage to tell any more lies, I lifelessly shook my head. At least he admitted
あ
it.
れ？そうなのケイチくん。早く行かないと終わっちゃうよ。終わっちゃうよ。
ごめん、初めてのお祭りだからさ。よくルールがわからなくて。
Yeah.
そうだったね。ごめん。
It's a good enough excuse. Hopefully. Mion took my hand and we started walking down the stone steps.
ねえケイちゃん。
なんだよ。
Here it comes.
シオンには会わなかった？
Perhaps. My heart skipped another beat. Mion could sense my surprise through my hand.
いや、でも、姿を見たような。
Sort of think I saw her.
でも、ミオンとそっくりだからな。ミオンだったのかもしれないし。
Yeah, she knows you're lying.
そんなに間違えないでしょ？
Yeah, you know the difference at this point, brother.
服装だって違うんだから。
Yeah.
そうだよな。
Bro. You really shouldn't have gotten yourself dragged into something like that again, bro. Or I guess not again, but Mion's momentary silence was like a death grip upon me.
しょうがないな、シオンは。まあ、あいつのことだから、放っておいても大丈夫かな。
That's a lot calmer than I expected. Mion's expression returned to her former usual smile, and we continued down the stone steps, her firmly pulling my hand along. Why is it still okay. Is that where it's ending? Looks like it. Oh boy, okay. Actually, I should have known we weren't going to find any bodies today. If we're going to find any, it's going to be tomorrow, most likely. Few new tips. Let's just go ahead and watch them before anything else. From the scrapbook 4. It's obviously Takano's scrapbook. What? I'm so dumb. Watanagashi. The rite of Watanagashi is performed during a village festival every June, even now, where reading back to its origin turns up a seriously sanguine ceremony. Originally, Watanagashi would happen at certain intervals, and after receiving Oyashiro-sama's trust, they chose a sacrifice. Then, the entire village would kidnap, demon away, the person and ceremonially dissect and devour them in a feast. The rules that determine the intervals are shrouded in mystery. This is because the ceremonies occurred extremely irregularly. There's a theory that it was determined based on astrological fortune-telling, but it isn't too convincing. The residents of ancient Onigafuchi village firmly believed that they were half-man, half-demon transcendents, and that they were more valuable than humans were, and they forced people within and without to accept that. Perhaps the act of kidnapping and eating people was done to prove that they were higher up on the food chain. This is just a hypothesis, but maybe the rite of Watanagashi was a political event for the purpose of being an outlet for, or outright diverting the attention of, the villagers of the isolated Onigafuchi village. In case any of their complaints or dissatisfactions grew serious. I mean, I could see it. That was the main reason these ceremonies were held, and it's easy to explain how erratic they were. Okay. Interesting stuff. In the scrapbook 5. The alleged importance of the implements. Let's go back and look at this just a little. The rite of Watanagashi was a political event for the purpose of being an outlet for the villagers of the isolated Onigafuchi village, in case any of their complaints or dissatisfactions grew serious. So it was a way to, like, unify them, basically. This is what it sounds like to me. Right? Like, if, you know, complaints or dissatisfactions, they're saying we're starting to grow serious, they all come together for a ritual killing, right? And then consume the body. Kind of grow closer as a whole, but if you ask me, it's also kind of like a thinly veiled threat. Like, hey, we could do this to you too, if you leave and prove that maybe you were never transcendent. Maybe you were just human. Right? Maybe that's a stretch. But it does feel like, you know, if I had to take part in that ceremony after being dissatisfied with my village, I mean, I'd see that as a thinly veiled threat. Like, this could be you, brother. You better stop being dissatisfied. You better be satisfied. And I mean, obviously that could explain how erratic they were. If they didn't feel the need to host one, they wouldn't bother. Just if somebody had a problem. Interesting theories. The alleged importance of the implements. Can't find anything that gives a concrete description on what the ritual implements were like. They were, however, real. There definitely existed a multitude of different kinds. One source states that the implements used in the Watanagashi rite alone numbered 200. The obvious question, then, is why they required such a myriad of them. The rite of Watanagashi was to kidnap people through the demoning away, dissect them, and eat them. I believe the tools were for dissection and restraining, but 200 of them is far too many. Generally, tools evolve in such a way as to reach a solution for a certain problem. Once you've reached the ultimate goal, that is, attained a certain level of efficiency, the tool's evolution normally stops there. Regardless, why would they have created so many different kinds? One of the cultural elements responsible for diversification over time is that of entertainment. Tools used for entertainment would evolve over time and branch out. Unlike normal tools, reaching the ultimate goal would be more of a dead end, and searching for the next goal, they would split into many different subtypes. So then perhaps it's not a stretch to suggest that these 200 plus implements had some entertainment value. Oh, great. I mean, I guess it makes sense that they enjoy these ritual tortures, or they wouldn't as willingly commit them, but this is just a hypothesis, of course. Maybe the human dissection process was viewed as a type of entertainment. The three families of old would develop one new implement, dissection tool, after another, and each was varied, novel, and attracted spectators to keep them from growing bored. It's not unimaginable. All of them have to be enshrined within that storehouse. There isn't much longer until the night of Watanagashi. Though its original intent has been lost, or reveal the secrets of the traditional ceremonial night within the ritual storehouse. I can't restrain my excitement. Watanagashi cannot come soon enough. Yeah, man, I sure do wonder who wrote that. That's crazy. I can't figure it out. Okay, let's see what's going on at the police station. This could be where we get some very dire news, or figure out no one got skunked. Late that night, tensions in the police station were strained. In the silence, many of the staff members' eyes shifted back and forth between the clock and their telephones, counting the seconds in that stifled atmosphere. Kumagaya-kun burst in with a young guy trailing behind him.
Oi-san! こっちは検視入りました。じいさまもさっき到着です。
Great.
俺もスタンバイ OK しました。このまま焼死の現場へ直行します。
The burned body.
クマちゃん、ちょっと話がややこしくなりました。向こうは身元の判別が非常に困難な状態だそうです。
Awesome. Somebody burned to death and we don't even know who.
まさか4年前のあれっすか？
いいえ、こんがりといい感じだそうで。
He spoke in sportive tones, but the meaning behind his words was heavy. The staff gave a collective sigh.
頭のてっぺんから丸々？
バッチリ黒焦げだそうで、あっちの現場かわいそうだな。
Ifu? Is that like their code name? Cooked with no possessions, then discarded outside the prefecture. At worst, it would have taken a week for the body to be identified. The fact that they'd sniffed it out tonight was huge.
今、小宮山君たちが沖宮の歯科医を根こそぎ野襲してます。カルテで歯型照合するしかないでしょ
う。Man, would that be nice?
ごめん。誰かきつめのタバコ2箱ぐらい買ってきてくれません？
The young guy answered an affirmation and darted out into the hallway.
今年は見事見つけましたね。ひょっとすると過去の失踪者もこんな感じで県外で殺されてたんすかね。
That's possible.
なら埋めればいいじゃないですか。重りつけて日本海でも。
でもどうして一人死んで一人消えるのがこれまでのパターンじゃないですか。
Yeah.
クマちゃん、仏は拘束なしでドラム缶の中でこんがりでしょ。多分締められた後にわざわざ焼いたんじゃないかと思うんですよ。
That's great.
見つかることを覚悟の上でです。
Yeah, so this is the one that was found and somebody's missing.
じゃあつまり今年は消す気は初めからなかったってことっすか？
I mean, that could just be the person who got murdered.
消す気がないってよりは、これはそれとは全く別のものでしょうね。消すどころか主張しているようにすら感じられますよ。
Yeah, I'll give you that. No matter how you look at it.
つまり見せしめの意味があるってことっすか？
He folded his arms and then heaved a long and heavy sigh.
それをしないでやってくれりゃその線もあるんですがね。こんな遠くまで運んで焼いちゃったら下手したらわかんないでしょう。見せしめにするならひなみ沢の近くでやるべきなんですよ。殺したことを主張したいのに場所は演出効果の確実じゃない遠方。主張したいのか隠したいのか。今年は何考えてるのかな、お社様は。
Yeah, me too. Alright, what's that? Telephone ring cut through the heavy silence. Staff member nearby snatched up the receiver.
おいさん、小宮山さんです。出ました。沖宮のデンタルクリニックで3年前に親知らずの治療をしてます。
Alright, who is it?
カルテは
レントゲン付きでバッチリと。
いやー、こんな明け方前に歯医者さんには申し訳ないな。クマちゃん、小宮山君からカルテ受け取ったらすぐに出発してください。
了解っす。あ、課長です。夜分お疲れ様です。
大石さん、遅くなって申し訳ない。
状況は
There was another victim.
やっと面白くなってきたってとこですかね。燃えてきたぞー。わお
You are so weird. Wow. Okay. Well. Okay. Well. First of all, that confirms that there was indeed at least one murder. They made it sound like that might not have even been, like, the murder. Right? And that's ignoring that there should be a person who gets, you know, onikakushi'd. Right? Just demoned away. And we don't know. We don't know who it is. Maybe there was some small little line at some point about somebody having their wisdom teeth dealt with. Because it sounds like that was you know, the main identifier. So maybe there's been something like that that I just forgot, so I can't identify who it is. But somebody died. At least one person died. I wouldn't be surprised if at least one more disappeared or is dead as well. Worried about Shion, but we'll see. So the chapter itself. Well, it was all fun and games at first, you know, as it was last time in the Watanagashi, and of course, things had to get crazy. It wouldn't be a Watanagashi if it was, you know, normal. Is the feeling I'm getting. I mean, we're at 2 for 2 now, right? I have a feeling if we have 8 Watanagashis, we're gonna have 8 crazy Watanagashis, right? We went into that storehouse. We saw the instruments of torture. It was very vividly described to us what they were used for, right? What the Watanagashi festival actually was. It wasn't about cotton. It was about entrail spilling, right? And cannibalism. We learned the original story of Onigafuchi village, right? All these demons, like, began to attack the village and then joined with it, eventually, right? Thanks to Yashiro-sama, like, you know, making them bow down and then them repenting and the villagers letting them in. Point is, they melded, they mixed with the villagers, right? So they were half demon. The question is how literal are demons, right? And that's one of the big questions of this chapter. How literal are the demons, right? Is it just literal demons, right? Or is Keiichi's theory correct, right? The idea that it was foreigners, right? You know, maybe it was people who were alien to Japanese people, and so they viewed as demons, right? And that's how they were able to integrate so easily. And it seems like some of the technology, you know, torture technology was brought from the West. I mean, I could buy it, and that would explain that. We don't know for sure, but it makes sense. It does make sense to me, at least. But yeah, we learned about the Watanagashi festival and how messed up its origin is, and just how recently, less than 100 years ago, there were reports of this still happening, right? And how they basically said, we believe it has happened even longer than that. And so it could still be happening. You know? These dissections might still be happening. Hell, to be honest, we saw one 5 years ago. The murder of the dam site. The dam site murder? The guy who died in that got dissected. Coincidence? Probably not, to be honest. It probably isn't. But this is a spicy chapter. A lot of new knowledge about Hinamizawa and its origins. The more and more we learn about this place, the darker and darker it gets. The darker and darker it gets, man. So, I mean, I think that's basically it for this episode. No, there's a little more to talk about. Talk about afterwards, after they got out. Big thing was the conversation with his friends, right? You know, with Mion, with Rena, with Rika. They asked him if he cheered her on, and he kind of talked out of his ass, right? Yeah, I saw it. You did it. I was there the whole time. You made no mistakes. Except it was pretty clear she made a mistake, right? So it's pretty obvious he's lying, and that he went somewhere, and then Shion gets up in his face. Or Mion. Did I say? I just said Shion. Mion gets up in his face and, you know, have you seen Shion? Right? And he's, no. Maybe. I might have been mistaking you two. But we're wearing different clothes. Like, he didn't mistake us. Right? And she seemed to realize he was probably with Shion, if you ask me. I think he realized. That's concerning. The fact that he slipped up like that they know. Right? That something is up. I feel like that's going to be one of the plot threads we see soon, as well as we're going to see, goodness. I mean, I'd imagine more of Hinamizawa's dark past. You know, I'm sure there's more and more to it. We need to figure out who was murdered. There's a lot to find out, and man, am I excited to keep going. That is going to, for real this time, be all that we have time for. Oh my god, this video encroached 3 hours and was one chapter. That's all we have time for. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I've loved it this episode. This game is getting so dark, right? And there is so much time to go. I can only imagine it's gonna get even crazier. Oh man. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully the next episode will be out soon. I hope to see you guys all there. Peace.